And that ability alone is being threatened to the point where if we speak about standing against those who are destroying liberty, we're risking ourselves. I, for one, and I'm pretty proud of this in one way and sad in another way, but I have a $250,000 warrant in Idaho right now. And then I have another $20,000 warrant. Right? And you guys had me speak here today. What kind of operation is this? Why? Why do I have that warrant? Those warrants? Because a judge has told me I can't speak. A judge has told me what I'm doing right here, right now, is illegal. That what I'm doing right now, I want you to know that what I am doing right now is in a violation of a court order. And luckily, that judge only has authority and jurisdiction, if you want to call it that, in Idaho. Otherwise, what I'm doing right now would cause officers to come in and arrest me. And let me ask my wife. By the way, this is my beautiful wife. Would you please stand up, please? She's been so patient and good to me, so loyal. Honey, have you seen officers come into an event like this and arrest me? She says, yes, I have. For speaking, my friends, for speaking. The threat is here, and the need to unite is real. And it is a must, or we will lose liberty. And that is my pure and simple message. Thank you.
Give it a beat. Give it a beat. Hey Brent, yeah. Monitors are down on the table. The monitors on the table are down.
You right now, you're on the YouTube site, so I didn't go to you.
No, okay. Well, I mean, you can't hear the monitors from the.
The audio monitors.
Yeah.
So if you take off your screen, is what he's saying.
But yeah.
I'm coming to you, Evan.
Thank you.
Test.
That's
Can
good.
you hear me?
On the
Okay.
monitors.
Excellent. All right.
Point of
We are
information.
back in session.
Point of information, microphone 3.
Point of information, microphone 3.
Mark Hickle from Taxifornia.
What is your point of information?
Is taxation still theft?
That is right. Mr. Secretary, you have an announcement?
I hate to be this guy, but the hotel has requested, please, no outside food or beverage. Do not be using hotel or vendor cups for your own alcohol. They've said they will ask people to leave the facility if you do. Don't yell at me. I'm not the bad guy. I'm just giving the announcement.
But I will say this. You guys did spend $8,000 in alcohol last night, so thank you for the help on the F&B.
Yeah!
Point of information, Mr. Chair.
Point of information.
Mic 3.
Microphone 3.
Is the rest of the main hall time going to be dedicated to business and on-time starts?
Yes, we are called to order, so we're here until we recess.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, this convention will come to order. The chair requests a supplementary credentials report for Mr. Molman. Have there been any changes of the roll since this morning's report? Come on up if you'd like to give the amended report.
All right. Good afternoon. As of 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, May 22nd, we now have 578 primary delegates present and checked in. A majority is 290. 2/3 is 386. 3/4, 434. 7/8 is 506. Quorum is 232. Everybody got that? Good deal. I therefore move to adopt the amended credentials report.
Object.
All right, we're now on to discussion. The motion has been moved and seconded. Microphone 1, name and state.
Yes, I'm Joe Roberts. I'm from the great state of Texas. I wish to amend the supplementary motion to add Nicholas Zurfluh, Z-U-R-F-L-U-H, to our state delegation. He was duly elected at our state convention, and his name was inadvertently left off the list that was sent to national. It wasn't discovered until after our initial credentials report when he came to register this morning.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, would you like to speak to your motion?
That's basically it. He was elected at our convention. For some reason, he was left off the list, and it wasn't discovered until after the initial report was made this morning.
All right, the motion will require 2/3. Any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of adding the delegate from Texas, please raise your token. All right, put him down. All opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, microphone 1.
Microphone
3.
3, go ahead.
Tyler Danke from Wisconsin. I move to amend the Credentials Committee report to decredential the delegation from the District of Columbia, because there are no residents here from the District of Columbia, consistent with your ruling earlier today.
Is there a second? All right, the motion is to decredential the DC, to essentially amend the report to remove the DC delegates, as there's no one from DC here, to be in compliance with the bylaws. Any discussion? Discussion, microphone 1, and then microphone 3.
Dean Ahmed from Maryland. I'd like to oppose this motion as there is a distinction between the New Mexico and DC cases. The rule in question applies to having someone from the jurisdiction in question being approved or not seated. And my understanding is that the list submitted by DC was timely to be approved, and therefore the questions that arose under New Mexico don't apply.
Microphone 3.
More of a request for information. If somebody from DC later shows up, at that point, would we be seating that delegation?
Correct. If somebody shows up, then we could seat the DC delegates. Any further discussion on this motion or this amendment? Hearing now, move to a vote. The vote is to decredential the DC delegates. All in favor, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed, please raise your token. We're going to do division. All right. All those in favor, please stand up. Do I have my counters, Evans O'Brien and Mark Montoni? Okay.
Actually, no.
Okay, so it is 2/3, not majority. So this is everybody. So please, please sit. Yes. We're going to retake the vote, okay? So I want to ask everybody that's voting to remove the DC delegates to please raise your tokens once more. All right, put them down. All the nays? Doesn't look like 2/3. Motion fails. Microphone 2.
Kenneth Blevins, Oklahoma. I move to amend the committee report to place Jacob Stone, a alternate from Arkansas, into the Oklahoma delegate.
Okay, is he an alternate?
He's an alternate, yes. He's already credentialed
All right. So you want to place him as a delegate?
as a delegate in Oklahoma.
And where is he an alternate currently?
Arkansas.
Arkansas to Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just so everyone's aware, what's happening here is that because he was added into Arkansas and not into Oklahoma, the Credentials Committee did not consider this gentleman's ability to serve as an Oklahoma delegate, and that is why he has to come to this body to ask for this. So just so there's no understanding, but he has been cleared by and is an Arkansas delegate, and as far as I'm aware, complies with Oklahoma's bylaws as well.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing no objection, motion passes. Microphone 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Edward Appler, Florida Chair. I move to amend the credentials report to add Ashley Couts, a longtime LPF member, registered LPF, who was previously a 2024 Florida delegate at the National Convention. She's been credentialed by my state secretary. So my motion is to amend credentials report to add Ashley Couts. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, so that'll require 2/3. I see a second from Mr. Requero. Any discussion? Barring any discussion, is there any objection? Hearing no objection, amendment passes.
Point of order.
Point of order.
The previous motion on the minutes reflects that the delegate has been added to the state of Alaska. That is not correct. Thank you.
Microphone 3.
Yes, thank you. Barry Short, Utah. I wish to amend the motion to add the name of Brenna Gentrup to the delegate list for Utah. This is entirely due to my personal oversight, and I'm sorry. But I do request that she be added.
You got her name? No, I do not. Can you repeat her name slowly?
Yes,
Spell it.
Brenna, B-R-E-N-N-A, Gentrup, G-E-N-T-R-U-P.
And that's to Oklahoma.
I know.
That is to Utah.
Utah, sorry. All right, is there a second?
I know.
The motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Barring any discussion, is there any objection? Hearing none, amendment passes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And what was your name again, sir? The mover? Barry Short?
Very short, yes.
Is that really? Okay, cool. Is there anyone else seeking to be recognized on the credentials report?
I am, sir.
Microphone 3.
Mark Brayman from New York. I have a point of order on the chair's ruling that the vote to exclude the DC delegation required 2/3. It's not clear at all to me why that vote to amend should have required 2/3 when all the other votes that we've taken require only a simple majority. And that's my point of order.
2/3 is required anytime the rights of a member is taken away.
Answer.
And we're also voting to amend something previously adopted.
Mr. Chair, respectfully disagree. Aaron Starr, California. What we were doing is we were amending something previously adopted. And there's two ways that you can effectuate that. You either get a 2/3 vote of this body or a majority of the entire delegates registered. So had that had 291 or 290 people in favor, it would have been adopted. I don't know if your ruling at the time was that it just only failed to meet the 2/3 or if it also failed to meet the majority membership option.
It wasn't clear if it was majority, but my understanding it was 2/3 and it definitely didn't reach 2/3.
So the requirement to amend something previously adopted is either 2/3 of this body or a majority of all the registered delegates. So if your ruling is that we didn't have a majority of all registered delegates, okay. But if your ruling is only that we didn't meet the 2/3 requirement as an option, then I think your ruling was in error, sir.
Okay.
Give him a chance.
As he usually is. He's a pain in the ass, but he's a good pain in the ass. He really is.
It would be different if we were adding delegates, because adding delegates does require 2/3.
It wasn't immediately clear if we even had a majority, if the body would like for us to take that motion up again? It's something that we... Okay, it doesn't sound like it.
That's fine.
All right, we're back onto the credentials report. Mr. Requero.
Omar Requero, Florida. Point of personal privilege. It was Ed Appler, A-P-P-L-E-R. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. Well, let me ask, is there any objection to the credentials report as amended? Hearing no objection, we have a credentials report. Thank you. And any new convention delegates, please meet Mr. Molman out front to get your convention cards with their delegation chair. With the delegation chair. All right. The orders of the day have us at the Treasurer's Report. So I'll recognize Mr. Redpath, Treasurer of the Libertarian National Committee.
Mr. Chair.
Grant, MTF.
Is that a point of order or an interrupting motion?
It's a point of information.
Point of information?
Please. Omar Requero from Florida. Where is the agenda? Someone mentioned the list. It's not on the list. Is there a place where we could just clearly put the business agenda that was adopted so that we all can download it or view it, please?
Mr. Chair, I can email it out to the LNC public list right now.
Okay. Is that acceptable?
Yes, thank you,
Thank you very
Mr. Chair, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Bill Redpath. I'm Treasurer of the Libertarian National Committee. Out of an abundance of caution, I want to amend one thing I said today about Ms. Wickers. She got somebody kicked off the ballot who I think was a Republican plant in the Libertarian primary. I'll amend my comments right there. I'm going to make this brief. The audited financial statements for 2025, the fiscal year of the Libertarian National Committee, is the calendar year. And the 2025 audited financial statements were posted earlier today by the Secretary onto the public list. And so they are available for scrutiny by anyone. We received an unqualified opinion. That is called a clean audit opinion. We produce the financial statements. They are then audited by an outside audit firm, and they issue an opinion. They may propose adjusting journal entries to correct the financial statements. We consider those. We decide to make them or not make them. But the financial statements, the audited financial statements, are available on the public list. I think that they speak for themselves, and I won't waste time going through that. Also, the April 2026 financial statements of the Libertarian National Committee were posted on Wednesday, I do believe, by me, the treasurer. They have also been online, and they're available for scrutiny. And I will entertain any questions if anybody has any at this time. And otherwise, I will yield. But anyway, I will be here for the entire convention. Thank you very much.
Question for the treasurer, Mr. Chair. Star Child delegate from California. I'm not a financials person. I've never, been one to do an audit or anything like that. And I think for members, it would be very helpful to be able to see a budget that just lists line item by line item, like the amount, the date it was paid, who it was paid to, and a brief explanation of the charge, just for everything, even if it's, for a stapler or,
paying somebody $50 to cover their lunch or whatever it is, just to be able to see the raw list like that, I think would be tremendously helpful to ordinary members to be able to understand our treasurer's reports. So just going forward, I was wondering if you or your successor, if you don't run again, would be willing to do that. And I know you can't speak to your successor.
I would say this. I'd like to speak with the officers at that time. I think that's a good recommendation, but I'd like to speak with the officers at the time and possibly council before that would be implemented. But it appears to me that is a good idea.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to voice the suggestion before the body. I have
Fair
voiced
enough.
it in the past, but not to the whole assembly. So
thank you, Star John.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anything? That's it? Okay.
All right, the next item of business is the Audit Committee report, but I do not believe we have the chair of the Audit Committee here, and Mr. Redpath already covered that. So we will continue on to the Bylaws and Rules Committee report.
Mr. Chair, Rob Yates, North
Microphone
Carolina. I move the hearing of the member bylaws report submitted to the Secretary, divided as submitted to the Secretary.
Okay, so repeat that one more time, a little bit louder.
Sorry, I move the hearing of the member bylaws committee report divided as submitted to the Secretary.
Is there a second? Can we pull that on the screen, Mr. Secretary? Now, are you wishing, these are multiple items?
Yes, sir.
Are you wishing to do it, I don't think we can do it lump sum, I think it has to be one by one.
Are you asking me?
I'm stating that to say,
Point of order.
so when you said, I'm sorry. So you said it was, you're going to submit this separated, so each item?
Divided, yes, sir.
Divided, okay, that's what I'm wondering. Okay. It's got to be one at a time, okay. Okay. So what I'd like to do is go through slowly. What we're going to have to do is go through each item one at a time and decide.
Point of order.
Point of order, which microphone? Microphone 3, Mr. Chatterton.
This would violate a special rule of order, would require a special suspension of the rules and a 2/3 vote.
It will, yes. This is going to require a 2/3 vote to suspend the rules to consider each item individually. Oh, that's a good point. Mr. Chatterton. Mr. Chatterton, are you seated and where? Oregon?
Point of information, Mr. Chair.
Hold on one second. Right, because we moved it and then we decided it was divided. So we had a motion and a second, but then we have to get another motion and another second. We moved it as a divided. Okay. It's just here. So by the time I basically, it's the motion is basically take up each item individually. I should never have that ability for anything. Each item is still required to. But in the rules, you consider the bylaws, but it's 2/3 to act on each bylaw. Majority vote to hear bylaw to make a rule. Because they moved in between actions. Is that a point of order?
A point of information, Mr.
Point of
Chair.
information.
Paul Bracco from Virginia. Exactly how many items are being proposed to add here?
16. So here's what we're going to do. The question is whether or not we hear these 16 items right now that are being moved from the floor. Each item, in order to adopt, would require a 2/3 vote. So the debate right now is whether we enter into the consideration of these 16 items. And once again, that'll take a 2/3 on each item. It would require a majority vote to take up the consideration of these items.
No, 2/3.
Or excuse me, a 2/3 and then, yeah, sorry, excuse me. It would still take a 2/3 and then we'd move into consideration of each one. Is that a, Mr. Starr?
My only question is there going to be an opportunity to debate that motion?
Right now.
Great. I'd like to vote, I would urge people to vote no on this. What I'm seeing here as being presented to us isn't even understandable. It doesn't have strike-through language. It insert.
Excuse me, point of order. I believe a motion to
Hold
suspend
on,
the
hold on.
rules
You're
is
not recognized. Hold on. Let the middleman finish speaking. Go ahead, Mr. Starr.
It doesn't have strikeout language. It doesn't have insertion language. I cannot even discern what it is that's being proposed. So happy to consider their proposals if they can come back with it in their proper format. But at this point, I would not vote to put this even on the floor because it's just going to be chaos.
You had a point of order.
Yes.
Name and state.
Mr. Chair, this is a
name and state.
Oh, Brennan Barrington, Ohio. The motion to suspend the rules, I believe, is not debatable, and that is what we are discussing here.
Okay, the parliamentary agrees with you. Your point is well taken. So, in that case, we're going to move directly to a vote to suspend the rules in order to consider the items at hand. All in favor of suspending the rules to consider these motions, please raise your tokens. That doesn't look like 2/3. All opposed? Motion fails.
Mr. Chairman, microphone 1.
Microphone 1.
Hello again. Nathan Madden, Arizona. I move to consider the bylaws report in its entirety with an up or down vote.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Point of order.
That motion would be out of order, would require 2/3, and it might actually be in the bylaws, but it would be in nature of a standing rule of order. It says each item shall be considered individually.
Mr. Chairman.
Your point is well taken.
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
Who's speaking? Hold
Nathan
on,
Madden.
I've already gotten to you. It's not in order. You've spoken.
It's an appeal.
Look around. Okay, go ahead.
It's an appeal to the ruling of the chair.
Sorry?
A bylaw in the nature of a rule of order is suspendable.
I'm sorry, say it again. I can't hear you.
A bylaw in the nature of a rule of order is suspendable.
I think there's a fundamental right to vote on any given on separate issues. What? There is, God damn it.
Yes. That was the start of it. I moved to suspend the rules.
Point of parliamentary inquiry, Mike 1. What is the current motion on the table on this exactly?
Say it again.
What is the current main motion?
We're supposed to order as of the day of the bylaws.
Yeah, but there's an appeal pending for what was that motion?
Which?
Yeah, I want to know what the delegate that just made that appeal was appealing.
Hold on one moment.
Yeah.
She gave us one. I want to know everyone to know where we're at.
He's moving a little fast.
He appealed your.
And I'm going to bring that up.
But you didn't look at it.
1214.
So then he was appealing. It was at this general. He was the general. That's making it originally.
Got it. Section 12, paragraph 14.
No, I was just couldn't make it.
Take a look at that.
Are you?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I was asking questions that we all know where we're at. Right. That's all I'm doing is figuring out where we're at.
Okay. To do what? I just haven't got my people for all my questions. Earlier, I called for a point of order. Speaking could have been out of order.
We did for a while. Which one is it?
It's 27-2. There are motions which must be divided over the demand of a single.
All right, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I remember.
And it also says C 2710. So it's 27-2, and it says C 2710.
Yep.
Was he trying to adopt all of the amendments at once?
That's what I'm looking for, yep.
All right, so the member wished to take up the entire bylaws at once. This conflicts with Honor 57-6, which requires substantial amendments to be taken up one by one. Does the member wish to appeal the ruling of the chair?
Yes, I appeal the ruling of the chair.
All right, so I've given my reasoning. Would you like to give yours?
One, any bylaw in the nature of a rule of order, which is what I'm actually trying to address here, that's in our special rules of order. The body can consider and take out for the purpose of any motion. But the going to the main reason of this considering this as one thing, either the bylaws committee did the will of the delegates, or they didn't. So.
All right, any other discussion? Microphone 3.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to refer to section 27, paragraph 10, motions that must be divided on demand. Sometimes a series of independent resolutions or main motions dealing with different subjects is offered in one motion. In such a case, one or more of the several resolutions must receive separate consideration and vote at the request of a single member. And the motion for a division of a question is not used. So I object to voting for everything in mass. I'm one person. I'm objecting. We must vote for all of these separately.
Microphone 2.
Hi, Jeremy Kaufman from the greatest state.
All right, let him speak. Let him speak. Come to order. Hey!
Not everyone is fit for the greatest state in America. At the request of the clerks, I have a point of information.
Point of information.
They are unclear on what the procedure is for the chair debate. It's not in the bylaws. I'm being told that only the top 4 signature getters are being invited to the debate. That information was not given in advance, and it's not in the bylaws.
This is not germane to your appeal.
It's not related to the current issue. The clerks asked me to give a point of information.
It's out of order.
This is going to go on your immigration report, and you will be denied entry to our beautiful state.
Mr. Kaufman, to answer your question, the chair's debate is not a part of business. It's a part of the convention. So the Convention Oversight Committee controls that. The body cannot change what the rules are of that
Where
debate.
was this information laid out or given
I
to
believe
chair
it's on the
candidates?
website. I think it's on the website.
It's true.
I don't know if it was on the website or not, but that's up to the Convention Oversight Committee, and that's what they've decided. So I hope that answers your question.
Where was it given out?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaufman. I got to move on to business.
This is
Microphone 3.
Information report as well, Stephen. So
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaufman. Microphone 3.
I would also add to Mr. Starr's point that you cannot suspend the rules that protect the right of a member by any percentage that isn't at least that. So when you're talking about something that's the right of one member, a single member to divide, you cannot suspend that except with a unanimous vote, including that member who's objecting.
Mr. Chairman.
Microphone 2, and then we'll go to 1.
Zach Kellier from Idaho. I call the question on the appeal of the ruling of the chair.
Is there a second? What's your name, sir?
Zach Kellier from Idaho.
Is there a second? All right, that requires 2/3? 2/3. All in favor of closing debate? And then we'll move to a vote. All in favor of closing debate, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed? All right, debate is now closed. The question is whether or not the ruling of the chair shall be sustained. Which requires a majority. The question is, shall the ruling of the chair be sustained that we cannot wholesale take up the entire bylaws in one vote? All those in favor of upholding the ruling of the chair, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? All right, the chair's ruling has been sustained. We'll go to the orders of the day, which is the Bylaws Committee report, and I welcome Mr. Vice Chair Paul Dar, Chair of the Bylaws Committee, up to the lectern.
Delegates, my name is Paul Dar, and I serve as the chair of the 2026 Bylaws and Rules Committee. This report represents work from the past Bylaws Committee and nearly 11 months of work by your committee, which met consistently every other Sunday to refine these proposals. I would like to thank the other members of the present and past committees for their work. Before we begin, please note that each proposal stands on its own. The language you see reflects the bylaw as they currently exist and does not account for other changes that may be adopted during this convention prior to a specific proposal's introduction. Procedural note, I'll report on each recommendation separately and have 2 minutes to explain the intent of each amendment. Following that, the convention chair will open for each for 8 minutes of discussion without floor amendments. If a recommendation fails, it will then be open to floor amendments for an additional 10 minutes. For those that have not seen the report, you can, of course, find it on the lnc2026.com website under Reports. Proposal number 1, election of LNC officers. Our current method of electing officers is outdated and inefficient. Proposal 1 authorizes our party's use of preferential voting on a single ballot to eliminate multiple rounds of voting, thereby freeing up convention time. This amendment shall take effect upon the final adjournment of the convention in which it is adopted, which means after this convention, so we won't be changing our process mid-convention, but prepared for the next. I move Proposal 1 on behalf of the Bylaws Committee. Are you chairing right now, or? I'm chairing. All right.
Request for information.
Mike 1.
Pat Dixon from Texas. Request for information on item D as in dog. It says redistributing according to the next choice. Since there are different types of ranked choice voting systems, it's not clear what next choice means in that context or how none of the above is handled. Can you address that?
I believe that still leaves room for adoption of different versions of ranked choice votes used. So it would be dependent on that choice at that time. I'm sorry for not having a more definite answer to your question, Mr. Dixon. I'm not seeing. Mike 3.
Alicia Purcell, California. I rise to speak against this proposal. I am all in favor of preferential voting for like a public election where you've got, 1 day, no chance for reballoting, those sorts of scenarios, or if it's a mail-in ballot scenario where it's very difficult to go back and do a second round of voting. But when you have a chance to do multiple rounds of voting, that is that's a better system than preferential voting. And we do have the ability to do multiple rounds. And so you get to learn things in between rounds of voting where you can change your vote. You get information that you didn't have when the first ballot went out. Maybe a candidate drops out and wants to ask his supporters to support a particular other candidate. And you get extra information in those extra rounds of voting. And I find that to be a superior method to preferential voting when we have the option of doing multiple rounds like we do now. So that's why I oppose this.
Thank you. Back to Mike 1.
Thank you. Omar Recaro, Florida. My question is twofold. We're still, when you say ballots, so this is still writing on a piece of paper that has to be tabulated. And if the answer is yes, how is this saving us time if that's the point of this bylaw change?
That is dependent on the adoption of a later bylaws proposal. Even though we say this, it stands alone, you could, yes, it's currently stated in the bylaws, it would be by paper ballot. I understand from those that do paper ballots that it can be quite efficient still to do paper ballots in that manner with ranked choice voting. I have not done it myself, but I understand that is the case. And if electronic voting were later adopted, that of course makes it exponentially quicker. But that is my understanding with the paper ballots. Thank you. Mike 2.
Justin O'Donnell, delegate from Louisiana. I want to speak against the motion. As written, it declares we're going to use ranked choice voting, but it doesn't declare how we're going to count the votes. Ranked choice voting is just you're going to preferentially rank your candidates. How you're going to count them, there's hundreds of different ways you can count ranked choice voting. Meek STV, Scottish STV, next distribution. Without declaring how it's going to be counted, you're leaving that for the tellers or the next convention committee to just decide, and the delegates don't know how their votes are going to be reallocated based on their next preference. So as is, it's unworkable entirely.
Thank you, Mr. Donnell. Mr. Latham.
Rob Latham, delegate from Utah, also member of the Bylaws and Rules Committee. And by the way, the reason we are considering this as the first proposal is our 10-member committee ranked these proposals in order of preference priority, how soon they wanted them to be considered by this convention. So this was our top-ranked proposal. And to maybe understand why, recall past conventions and how long it's taken this body to elect officers. We'll have that experience later in this convention. Put a clock on how long it takes from the chair nomination to the secretary election. We can save a bunch of time. I know many affiliates already use ranked choice voting. People, and it's worked for them. And it's worked for public elections as well. We did a demonstration election in DC, if many remember, for president, and that mirrored, we had about several hundred delegates participate in that. That mirrored the round-by-round results of our presidential race. Chase Oliver won the ranked choice voting mock election. He won our party's nomination also during that convention. But we saved a lot of time. We would save a lot of time doing that. I want to answer Mr. Dixon's question when he asked, what does next mean? So if you rank a candidate, this is my first choice, if that candidate's eliminated, next means, well, what does your second choice say if that candidate is still eligible? And if that candidate is no longer eligible, what is your third choice? Is that candidate still eligible? So your ballot won't be wasted if your candidate gets eliminated in the first round. It's just a much simpler, more efficient way to do what we already do, but not take multiple rounds to do it. I understand the concern about, well, I want to hear what candidates say in the middle of the rounds. It really shouldn't make that much of a difference. You should know before you come to convention where you're going to rank the candidates and vote accordingly. And so I encourage delegates to support this time-saving measure. I get that there are many states, mostly Republican, that have banned ranked choice voting because they see this as an entryway for libertarians to get more prominence in their election system. Let's tell the Republicans that they can go fornicate themselves by a yes vote on this proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Latham. Mic 1, Mr. Brown.
Yes, Ted Brown from Texas. A question, is there any reason why we can't make it into effect immediately for this convention rather than waiting until the next? And if that would be agreeable, I would move that as an amendment.
Absolutely not!
The recommendation strongly from the tellers is not to change the voting method mid-convention, thus causing more chaos than actually fixing, is all I would say on that matter. Mr. Brown.
Okay, thank you.
Mike 2.
Yeah, I'm standing in Scotty Bowman, Michigan. I'm standing in favor of this amendment, and my experience has been I've been to, I think, almost all the national conventions I could think of since late 80s. I may have missed one, maybe two. And I recall one convention where it came down to the last day of the convention. We were all, we had an election still to do, and it did not get done. Ultimately, the LNC was appointing people to fill positions that should have been elected because we ran out of time. So time is important. Now, how does this really change what we do otherwise? Not that much, because what it does is it does mechanically, we've got to kind of think ahead what we're doing procedurally anyway. When you vote, you have a round, you drop the lowest, you do it again, and so on and so on. That's what we do anyway. Someone asked about NODA. What happens with NODA right now? Well, none of the candidates previously lost can run, and we try to re-elect people to fill those positions from people who have not run for that office before to see if that person can those people can defeat NODA, and that has happened. I've been at a convention where a chair candidate lost to NODA. So there's, again, no real difference. You just apply it the same way. It just happens mechanically all at once rather than having to go and fill out slips of papers, hand them in, get them back, hand them in, get them back, and hang around all day and night.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman.
Mr.
Mic
Chair,
3.
point of order, microphone 1. We are at 8 minutes. We need a vote.
Mr.
We're at time.
I'd like to be recognized.
Was that a point of order you were saying?
I was being recognized, and then this person just brought up a point of order. So if I've been recognized, I'd like to speak.
Point of order, it says maximum 8 minutes. We are at 9:15. Let's go to a vote.
But I've been recognized, right? You can't cut me off in the middle of a statement.
I will let you finish your statement since I just recognized you when the point of order was called mid-sentence.
Thank you. So I rise.
Please make it brief, though.
I rise against this proposal. Normally, I'm in favor of ranked choice voting if this were an assembly of members. If this were an assembly of members, it's very easy to know that that the number of people voting are the correct number. We have a convention of delegates, meaning that each state gets to have a certain allotment of votes at most. And what this proposal does is it strips away that protection to figure out whether a state is overvoting or not. Because you will have people in this room who will cast ballots, and we see this at every single convention where the number of votes exceeds the state's delegation total, and we have to go back to that state, and they have to figure out what they did wrong and correct it. So this is just not workable in a convention of delegates situation. So for that reason, I urge you to vote no on ranked choice voting. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now moving to a vote on the proposal. All those in favor of Proposal 1, please raise your token or your hand. Please lower your tokens. All those opposed to adopting Proposal 1. That fails. We are now open for another 10 minutes. Oh, no. 10. And for amendments from the floor. Are there any amendments from the floor that would make Proposal 1 passable? Mr.
Chair, if the concern is that this does not specify a clear ranked choice algorithm, could we replace the words ranked choice with instant runoff to specify which procedure we are using?
That sounds like a question and not an amendment.
I move to do that if it's the sense of the body that will lead to 2/3.
Where is that exactly at? Do you understand? Huh?
So replace
First of all, name and delegation for the secretary.
Yes, Brennan Barrington, Ohio. Replace the words ranked choice in, I can't read the letter there. Yes, in 1A with instant runoff.
Is there a second? You may speak to your motion.
I understand that this addresses a concern that was expressed earlier in the debate on this, that ranked choice does not specify a particular algorithm for determining what happens to the lower preferences. Instant runoff is a specific algorithm where the lowest is eliminated and it's counted in order of the highest that is still eligible is added to the existing total.
I do see others.
Mr. Chair, mic 1.
Yes, actually, let's go back to mic 1.
Mr. Chair, Jack Westbrook from the great state of Texas. And I just have a point of privilege. I'd like the body to consider the fact that the committee has done a lot of work on what's presented before us. We have a lot of work to do. And the things that we're doing, if they're not majorly significant, we don't need to be, tweaking things that, this word there and that word there and this suggestion here and that suggestion there. If they did their job and it's good enough to pass and you don't have something major going on, keep your mouth shut, sit down.
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
Is it in order to continue to consider this first proposal? Isn't this a reconsideration?
No, this is an amendment. This is how the process works. You make the proposal, you go through the first 8 minutes, and then you get a second round to try to amend it if you wish to. If nobody makes an amendment, then the proposal just fails. So, Mr. Latham, then it'll be Mike 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Rob Latham, again, delegate from Utah. Even though I'm a supporter, again, of this Proposal 1, I can read the room. I do want to ask that, we'll answer a point that was made about what's the system we're using, the algorithm. It's actually baked into the proposal. So we say, what type of ranked choice voting are we using? It's the one that's in the proposal. So that would be the rules that we would follow. We don't need to go to these special different kind of rules that are out there. So that would be the answer, but changing it to instant runoff voting, there are different terminologies for this, is not going to change the algorithm that's in the proposal. So I just move that we vote this down
Mr.
and move
Chair,
on to proposal number 2.
skipped. You called a different microphone that wasn't in line before this microphone.
I'm going in order, so the first
Okay,
motion
thank you.
was made over here, and then I was going back 1, 2, 3. Back to Mike 3.
Sorry about that. I initially in favor of this. I was someone on a past bylaws committee that proposed it, but it also doesn't deal with, there is methodology problems because there's the issue of tie breaking. Do you do forward counting tie breaking or backwards counting? And that makes a difference. It needs to be flushed out. I don't know the exact parliamentary terminology here, but I think it's equivalent. My mic is, oh, I think to just go to the next proposal is to call, equivalent of calling the question.
Are you
I'd like to
calling the
move on
question? to
to the next question.
Okay. Well, you can call the question on the amendment right now, if that's what you were intending. Okay, just verifying. The question has been called. So, I've heard some seconds out there, actually. All those in favor of calling the question, please raise your token. All those opposed to calling the question, please raise your token. All right, calling question is passed. Now we're on the vote for the amended proposal. All those in favor of passing Proposal 1 as amended, please raise your token. All right. Oh, excuse me. Yes, you're correct. It would be for the amendment.
Point of order, can we see the amendment on the screen?
Thank you.
It was there previous.
Right, it's not now.
I'll start that vote again once he's done, just to be clear. This is just on passing the amendment.
I mean, I could show you the whole thing, but all it does is change that to ranked choice voting.
All it does is change that one portion to instant runoff voting. That is all that is amended.
Point of information?
We're in the middle of a vote, but yes, go ahead, Mr.
I think it might qualify as a point of information. Under the current algorithm, is or is not a record taken of each automated round?
That's not in order on the current vote.
Okay.
We need to take the vote. So all those in favor of the amendment, please raise your token. Please lower your token. All those opposed? The amendment fails.
Point of information.
That's dilatory. There's
Point of information?
Not even close.
Point of information, microphone 1.
Yes, microphone 1.
Thank you. Steve Dosbach, South Carolina. Point of information is, I just want to clarify, when people are making amendments, do they generally have to be submitted in writing to the secretary, or can they just be moved from the floor?
I believe it was only 2 or 3 words you wanted from the floor. A maximum of 2 or 3 words from the floor. If it's beyond that, please have it in writing to submit to the secretary so that it is correctly recorded.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Chair, and you can also send that to secretary@lp.org to make it easier.
Thank you. Okay. And if you need paper forms to submit an amendment, they have them in the teller's pit.
Parliamentary inquiry, microphone 3.
Yes.
Nicholas Sarwark, Colorado. As we're going through this report, what is the appropriate motion if a report proposal has been defeated, but we don't want to expend the time to do amendments? What's the appropriate motion to stop this proposal and move on to the next one?
Just immediately call the question, please. In that case.
And my question is, because we have a time certain allowed for amendments, how do we
If it fails the
stop?
second time, that does kill the time on the, is my understanding.
So we just have to vote it down twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vote it down twice to kill it for good.
Mr. Chair, Mike Wynn, Josiah Baker, Tennessee. I'd like to call the question, please.
Thank you. Was anyone actually rising to debate or do an amendment? Because if there wasn't,
Charles Essner from Michigan. I just wanted to mention that Mr. Sarwark was talking about what can be done to end if we vote it down.
Yeah.
We could always say motion to adjourn. I'm not making the motion.
No, let's not do that. Thank you. Voting on proposal 1, once again, if, as unamended, to kill it in the second round, talking to the parliamentarian, we do take another vote. So all those in favor of proposal 1, please raise your token. Go ahead and lower your token. All those opposed to proposal 1, please raise your token. All right, fails the second time. Let's move on. Thank you. Let's read the room a little bit as we move along here a little more swiftly. Proposal 2, combine LNC removal process. This resolves the ambiguities regarding due process by combining officer and at-large member removal into a single article. It balances honoring the delegate's will with protecting the party from gross malfeasance. That is proposal number 2, and I believe the secretary is getting it up on the screen. I recognize mic number 3.
Alicia Purcell, California delegation. I rise to oppose this measure because it would be impossible to carry out, and I'm going to tell you why. For this removal process to invoke the Chapter 20 trial process, that process is designed to be done by an assembly of members, an assembly of all members of the national party, and we have no mechanism under our bylaws to call such an entity to a meeting. It's not designed to be done by the board. It's the entire membership of the society. And there was a situation in 2008 where questions about this arose. It was a different application, but I know we all have our copy of Robert's Rules handy, right? And we can see the top billed name on it is Henry Robert III. We got an opinion from Henry Robert III before he passed. And he reviewed this and said, yes, to use Chapter 20, we have no mechanism to call such a meeting of such a body. It would take every member in the National Party would be eligible to participate in the trial. So this is not workable. Even if passed, it would be impossible to ever use. I also object to flipping the default that before it was that the JC didn't rule, it sustained an LNC decision. This changes it to the default is no ruling from the JC overturns the National Committee. The LNC could be overturned by inaction of the JC. So by the JC refusing to go on record, the LNC loses by default. I object to that as well.
Thank you. Mic number 1.
Nick Zaselsky, Delegate, Pennsylvania. I also rise against this. I think the first thing to keep in mind that it's limiting on removal here. If, for say, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor were an LNC member, I don't think he'd be able to be removed under this, and you could have someone in the Epstein class on the LNC. I think the other issue is this is calling for a suspension and then investigation, while within the current process, there's an investigation before a suspension happens, and that's appealable, where this initial suspension is not. And that's why I would oppose this.
Thank you. Mic number 2.
Alex Grant from the Volunteer State of Tennessee. I'd like to call the question.
Thank you. Question has been called. Is there a second calling question? Aye. Oh, excuse me. For the secretary, what was your name again? I missed it from Tennessee. Alexander Brent. I love how clear his voice was.
Point of privilege.
Where was that one at? That was at 3.
Mic 1.
Mic 1. All right, sorry. Flag.
Just wanted to see, Addison Patrick from Florida, just wanted to see if it would be possible to turn the AC down just a little bit. We're really freezing over there in that corner. Boo?
I'm reading the room on that one. I'm sorry.
Don't turn it down. Make it warmer.
Wow. All right, please come back to order. The question has been called. All those in favor of calling the question on proposal number 2, please raise your token.
Point of information.
Lower your tokens. All those opposed to calling the question, please raise your tokens. All right, that is 2/3. Question is called.
Point of information.
Okay.
All right. Apparently, I am supposed to be chairing this, which is fine by me. So, where are we at?
Point of information.
Point of information. Which microphone? 2. Go ahead.
Yes. My question is, does turning down the AC mean reducing the energy applied by the AC, which would actually, have the effect of raising the temperature? Or does it mean
the question
that
has
you
been
would
called
be raising the amount of energy by the AC to lower the temperature?
All right, please. You're not. All right. The question has been called. The question has been called. So we'll proceed to a vote. Right?
Can we have the motion?
So I don't know what I'm voting on. I don't know if it's going to be hotter or colder.
I don't understand what you're asking.
All right.
No, you're not being recognized, sir.
The AC would mean making it warmer. Am I understanding that correctly?
Not being recognized.
Orders of the day. Also, can we have the motion back up?
We are not voting on the temperature, sir. We're voting on a proposal to the bylaws.
Can we have proposal 2?
Sir, we're voting on the bylaws, not the actual temperature.
Chair, can we have proposal 2 on the screen? Please and thank you.
All right. Now that it's established that we are voting on the bylaws and not the AC, we will be going ahead with the ballot. All in favor of the bylaw as presented, please raise your token. All opposed. Motion fails.
Mr. Chair, microphone 3, Paul Bracco, delegate from Virginia. I move to suspend the rules and proceed to bylaws proposal number 3.
To proposal number 3.
Second.
So 2/3 to proceed to it as per usual, like a regular motion? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, and there's a second. We're now on to discussion on proceeding to bylaws amendment number 3. To suspend the rules in order to consider it. Is there any discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. Move to a vote. It requires 2/3. All in favor, please raise your token. All right, all opposed? The ayes have it. We'll move to number 3.
I have number 3 in front of me. I'll just present it from here and you can share from there. That'll work now that we're swapping back to the different spots here. Number 3, proposal number 3 is electronic voting. To implement modern voting methods, we need the infrastructure to support them. This proposal provides the authorization required by Ronner to use electronic balloting for faster results. As noted, this amendment shall take effect upon the final adjournment of the convention in which it is adopted, so we are once again not changing voting methods mid-convention. Mr. Chair, this proposal 3 is moved on behalf of the Bylaws Committee.
All right, the motion has been moved by the committee. We're now on to discussion. We'll go with microphone 1. Is anybody? Go ahead. Microphone 1, name and state.
Sorry. Reese Smith, delegate from Pennsylvania. I rise in support of the Bylaws Report Proposal 3. I think this is a really good proposal. I like that it gives the flexibility to the convention body to choose which voting method they prefer. And I like that it's not going to be immediate, and it gives the LNC time to identify what might be a really good system. It's also good in the sense that it does not identify a specific system, but provides flexibility for the convention and the LNC. I think this is the best way to move ourselves towards electronic voting, and I think electronic voting overall is a good method to move towards because it's going to allow us to take votes quicker. It will move convention business along, keep it efficient, and allow us to not have to spend so much time on the convention floor, spend more time in breakouts and networking and building the liberty movement beyond just sitting here and voting. So thank you very much.
Microphone 2.
Morgan Rigg, delegate for the great Hoosier state of Indiana, and my apologies for being redundant in using the words great and Hoosier. I rise in support also of this proposed bylaws proposal 3 for 2 reasons. The first off is that as a member of the Libertarian Party of Indiana, we have been doing electronic voting in our elections for the last, I can't remember now, last 2-3 years now, if not longer. They have worked. They have made it a hell of a lot easier to get stuff. 6 years. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. But they've made things a hell of a lot easier for us when it comes to just getting the elections done instead of having to wait a long time. The second reason also is I like the fact that we still have the paper ballot option. So in short, it's simple, as I see it, it's the best of both worlds. So I hope that delegates will vote in favor of Proposal 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Microphone 3.
Aaron Starr, California. I rise against this proposal in its current form. It's fixable, but let me tell you where the problem is. If you look at the proposed 4A, it says each delegate has the ability to cast an electronic ballot that produces a conforming physical ballot, or a vote by an electronic ballot accompanied by the delegate's contemporaneous completion of a conforming physical ballot. So the problem that we will encounter with this is that people are going to mess up. They are going to vote one way electronically. They're going to vote a different. Can you hear me? Yeah, they'll vote a different way on the physical medium. This is fixable by just simply taking out everything after the semicolon on there. So this can only be done if each delegate has the ability to cast an electronic ballot that produces a conforming physical ballot. I will propose an amendment. If this is defeated, I will propose an amendment to eliminate the issue that I'm bringing up, to address it.
Thank you, Mr. Starr. All right. Any other discussion on this motion?
Mike 1.
Microphone 1.
Nick Siselski, delegate Pennsylvania. I rise in support of this. I was on the 2024 Bylaws Committee, and this is a proposal that's at least very similar to what we proposed there. I think it lays out well notice, giving the body the option whether or not to do it. And I understand that the delegate from California's concern on this, on 4A here. But if you can't electronically cast a ballot and then write the same thing, or you want to screw around on that, I mean, that's kind of your fault and your problem. So I support this in its current form. Thank you.
Gotcha. Microphone 2.
Starchild, delegate from California. I rise in support of this proposal. I have spoken before at national conventions against proposals for electronic voting because, frankly, there's a lot of electronic voting going on out there in government elections in the world that I don't trust. There's been issues with companies like Diebold and potential for hacking or rigging of electronic voting. But I think the wording in this proposal that it would require physical balloting, whether contemporaneous, I don't see the, I mean, I think the problem that Aaron Starr points out is potentially an issue, but I don't see it as a major issue that people are going to be casting 2 different votes in different ways. And if that comes up, I think it can be addressed. But I think the fundamental proposal is sound. I think that this does provide the paper trail that we would need for electronic voting while leaving the exact method flexible. But the reason, if we can get this right, I think this could be a major step for greater transparency. And ultimately, I would like to see each delegate's vote be individually noted and recorded. I believe we are actually representatives and that our votes should be public as representatives. And I think this would provide a much greater level of grassroots governance and accountability to the membership of how we vote as delegates at National Convention. So I hope people will pass this proposal. Thank you.
Microphone 3.
Yes, Mike Seebeck, Bylaws Committee Secretary, Alabama, Head Teller. In support of this amendment for a couple of reasons. Number one, this does codify the process that we've been using for the past several conventions. That's kind of important, and it makes a big deal out of what we've been doing and what everybody is used to. The second thing is that the addition of either the receipt for the physical ballot by an or by having a accompanying ballot provides the paper trail, as the delegate from California has mentioned, and that is a reasonable compromise that the previous committee came up with and what this committee agreed with. So this is a good bridge to get us from the physical system of 25 to 30,000 ballots possibly printed and taken care of for conventions like this into a much more efficient electronic system. Mr. Chair, I have a second thing, point of kind of a personal privilege. Could we get Mr. Ford to rendezvous with myself and you up at the podium when we get a moment?
Okay. All right. Microphone 1.
TJ Cozen, Pennsylvania. I call the question.
Is there a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of calling the question, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? All right, the question has been called, so move on to a vote. All in favor of the bylaws amendment, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion.
You called the question? Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. No, I thought we. Okay.
Point of privilege.
So we voted on. Excuse me. We voted on the calling the question. We're going to vote on the actual bylaw.
That's correct.
Point
of privilege.
That's what
we just did.
Didn't we just do it?
Voting on calling the question.
Mr. Chair, Mike 1, point of privilege.
No, I think I did the calling the question. We did 2/3, and then we voted. Then we did a second one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. They were telling me that. Anyway. All right. So next item is. Can you give me a second?
Mike
That'll
1,
be
Mr.
proposal
Chair,
number
point of
4
privilege.
then.
Excellent.
Proposal.
Point of privilege.
Point of privilege over there?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Joshua Espinosa from Florida. The Florida delegation is 2 rows away from this closest microphone. Florida feels like we're at an inherent disadvantage since we do not have immediate access to the microphone compared to the delegations from Texas and Pennsylvania. Respectfully, we request, if possible, for there to be a 4th microphone added to that aisle over there. Thank you.
I hear you, but I don't think we can. Mr. Bylaws Chair, would you like to go ahead with the next proposal?
Proposal number 4, alternative voting procedures. The use of approval voting can lead to distorted representation. We propose cumulative voting, a semi-proportional electoral method that facilitates both majority rules with proportionate minority representation to ensure the LNC reflects the different perspectives within our party. This amendment shall take effect upon the final adjournment at the convention at which it is adopted. Mr. Chair.
All right, the motion has been moved by the committee. We're on to discussion. Microphone 1.
Pat Dixon, Texas. This is a request for information. I will say I don't accept the premise of approval voting being as bad as this says, but my request for information is how is none of the above handled here?
I couldn't tell you, but that's up for debate. Microphone 2.
Alex Grant, Tennessee. I'd like to call the question.
Is there a second? Motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor of ending debate and calling the question, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed. The question has been called. We'll now proceed to a vote. All in favor of the bylaw, please raise your token. All opposed. Motion fails. Mr. Bylaws Chair, whenever you're ready to present the next item.
Mr. Chair, microphone 3, Paul Bracco, delegate from Virginia. I move to suspend the rules and move to bylaws proposal number 5.
Okay. Okay.
Who was that?
What's your name again?
Microphone 3 was the one who made the motion.
Paul Bracco?
Yes, Paul Bracco, delegate from Virginia.
All right, so there's a motion to consider bylaws 5. Suspend the rules. That's going to require 2/3. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed? All right, we'll consider the next bylaw.
Thank you for finding those shortcuts. Proposal number 5, voting procedure motions. In a body this size, it only takes 2 people to propose items with no chance of passing. This solution requires a standing second of 20 delegates to ensure baseline support before we spend time on floor motions. Mr. Chair.
All right, we're on discussion.
Microphone 1.
Microphone 1.
Nick Soselsky, delegate Pennsylvania. This was another one that came from the 2024 bylaws report that I was a member of that committee. I think this is a really easy way to cut down on some of the nonsense on the floor. It's very simple, and I think we just should adopt it. Thank you.
Microphone 2.
Starchild, delegate from California. I'm skeptical because I've seen situations where only a few people stood up, or not enough people, but it actually turned out that the proposal in question was quite popular and passed. I think that when you get into discussion, people realize what's been voting on. They may hear arguments in favor or against that change their views. I think that allowing things to be discussed or dealt with, you know, with a small number of people rising is better in the long run. Yeah, maybe it wastes a little bit of time here and there, but I think there's the potential for more time to be wasted if things are summarily rejected that turn out to be popular, or we end up arguing about the rejection and so forth. So I would respectfully urge people to vote this down.
Thank you. Microphone 3.
Alicia Purcell, California delegate. I support this proposal. I do want to ask for clarity to make sure that I'm understanding how this is written. And by the way, we do something similar in California. We actually require, I think it's 10% of our delegates, so this is even a lower threshold percentage-wise, but I do support this. I just want to make sure that I'm putting mental parentheses around the right phrase, that when it says at the end of the first line, motions to suspend the rules and adopt a certain proposition, that's all one phrase together. So suspend the rule and do a thing in a single vote, as opposed to suspend the rules and then take up a thing as a separate vote. So it would apply to the former, but not the latter. Is that what is intended by this phrase?
I mean, I would imagine it's...
Five's still pretty low. Six, 20, that's 2%. When we're at full strength, it's even just 4%
Doesn't
now.
it depend on context?
That's not a lot.
I mean,
to pass anything, you need a majority anyway.
You might,
Other asking for
you might be right.
clarification.
We argued about it.
Okay.
That's true. That's true.
With 10 people, you know, that's something that could go out. 2 people, maybe not.
Ms. Masson, can you please
That's true.
clarify exactly what the question is so I can best answer
Clarify
for you?
my request for clarification. All right, got it. All right, so there are two things that are commonly confused. Somebody can move to suspend the rules and adopt motion X all in one vote.
Correct.
Or you could move to suspend the rules so that we can take up motion X as a separate vote and it's debatable.
Right.
The first one is not debatable. The second one, the motion, most of the time would be debatable. And so they're kind of different scenarios. So I just want to make sure we're only intending to require the 20 delegate second for doing it all in a single motion with no debate. But it would not apply to suspend the rules so that we can separately, with a separate vote, consider a different motion.
Okay,
The way it is worded, though, it means it's equivalent to suspend the rules and adopt. So I need to say motions to suspend the rules and motions to suspend the rules.
So it seems like they should change the word "and" to
Or something like that. So she's right, but it's supposed to be
suspend the rules to adopt a certain proposition.
Okay. I see your point. That's something that the delegates can fix, but I think as it's currently written, you're correct.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with it if it applies to the do it all in one fell swoop, because it's not debatable, right? So you want more support for that. So if that's the intent, I'm fine with that. I just wanted to clarify, make sure that we understand there are two scenarios and it applies to one and not the other.
but she's correct.
And there's some people there.
I don't know whether or not that was the intent of the bylaws by this amendment, by this motion, but you're correct in your interpretation. Microphone 1.
I'm microphone 1, Reese Smith, delegate from Pennsylvania. I rise in support of this bylaws proposal. I think that it is going to help us on the floor maintain pace and not be bogged down by motions, and help us more accurately read the room as we go through convention business. So thank you very much.
Microphone 2.
Microphone 2, Jim Fulner, representing Connecticut, which, like all states, is not great. I would rise to recommend voting against, or excuse me, in favor of this motion. No, against, my bad. Yeah, I'm against it. You're right, thank you. I don't like the idea of needing 20 people for everything. We're going to end up having to have counts of is this 20 people or not, and then somebody's like, well, it's only 19, so I'll stand up to, and then does that count or not? And it's like most things we do, we try to save time, and in the time of doing so, we actually waste more. So please vote against this. Thank you.
I mean 3. Microphone 3.
Can we have the proposal up again, please?
Mr. Secretary?
First of all, just so that everyone is clear, because I respectfully disagree with the interpretation of the chair, it says all main motions, and a motion to suspend the rules and then consider the thing is an incidental main motion. So I do believe that that would be covered by the 20, and I think I'm the person who wrote this a few years ago. I know that was the intent. But besides that, this does not take long. You eyeball it, and once people get used to it, it will save time. While I firmly believe that birds are not real, I do not think we should be able to hear a resolution that birds aren't real just from one person doing it, or that Harry Potter is the greatest book of all time, which are things that actually happened in convention. We need to do business. We need to be serious about it. People seem unable to read the room. The 20 people will teach them how to read the room.
The parliamentarian is nodding at me and believes that Ms. Harlow's interpretation is correct, so I'm going to go with that. Microphone 1.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Jack Westbrook from the great state of Texas. Before I do what I intend to do, I want anybody who's still in line, if you have an amendment, raise your hand.
You can't amend
Well, it's not in order to amend unless it's voted
I'm
down.
having a request for information.
Okay.
I just want to know if they're going to do that. I'm kind of trying to read the room here. You
All right,
understand?
we're at time. We are at time, sir.
Good. Call a question.
Well, we already had time, so we will proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion as presented, please raise your token. No, you don't have to call the question because we're already out of time, so this is the vote on the main motion. All right, put them down. All opposed? Motion carries. And that goes into effect immediately, so any second is going to require a standing 20.
Point.
In order.
Point of personal privilege.
Microphone 1. Name and state.
Carol Unsicker from Texas. I move that we have a 10 or 15-minute recess for a mild break. It's after lunch.
That's not a point of personal privilege. You're trying to make a motion?
Yes, sir.
For a 10 to 15-minute recess? Is it
Yes,
10 or 15?
15.
15?
Yes, sir.
All right, we need 20 people to stand up if you second or raise your tokens. All right, looks good to me.
Thank you.
Any debate on recess? Hearing no debate, we'll move directly to a vote. All in favor of recessing for 15 minutes, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed? Motion fails.
Jesse,
Mike 2.
who was that?
Mike 2.
Is this a point of personal privilege?
It's actually a motion to suspend rules to add a delegate.
The chair is not here. I was going to do my proposal, but that I guess will take more time.
Mr. Secretary, my name is Unsicker, like you're feeling good. Unsicker from the great state of Texas.
Just so everybody knows, as long as I am close and I know your state delegation, they will be fixed. So, unless it's, I mean, I get mad when people spell my name McMannn, so I get it. But just so you know, they will be corrected. Chrissy.
Wait, there's a motion.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, Ray Walden from the state of Illinois. I would like to, oh, sorry.
Because we're currently on an item, you're going to have to wait till in between the next action.
Okay.
So if you'd like to speak to our parliamentarian to figure out how you can get what you need, he's going to make himself available to you, and then we'll figure something out in a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Dar.
Proposal number 6, officer membership requirements. Officers hold significant fiduciary responsibility. This proposal requires officers to be life members for at least 1 year, ensuring those guiding the party have demonstrated long-term investment in our success. This amendment shall take effect upon the final adjournment of the convention at which it is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dar. Microphone 1.
Hello, Tony DeRazio, delegate from Pennsylvania. Thank you. I rise in opposition to this proposal. I am a lifetime member of the Libertarian Party, and I happen to be running for an officer position at this convention, so this actually benefits me. However, it doesn't benefit the Libertarians. There's a weird echo on this thing. It doesn't benefit the Libertarians, the good Libertarians, who may not be able to afford $1,500 for a lifetime membership or whatever it happens to cost. We're not a pay-to-play party. You can come to this convention for free. So please, I encourage you to vote against this bylaw amendment. Thank you.
Microphone 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Starchild, delegate from California. I would like to strongly second the comments made by the gentleman at microphone 1. We see the problems in national government and around the world with oligarchy, ruled by the rich. We don't want to replicate this in our own party. It's already expensive to be on the Libertarian National Committee. I know, I was on the LNC. We have to fly around the country to attend meetings out of our own pocket. This is not an insignificant expense. To add on top of that, $1,500 to become a life member for those who are not life members is, again, a very significant expense. I wouldn't want to disqualify someone who has good ideas and good energy and wants to serve in the leadership from doing so just because of financial issues. So I urge people to vote this down. Thank you.
Microphone 3.
Paul Bracco, delegate from Virginia. I also rise in opposition to this proposal. Currently, the lifetime membership cost is $1,500, but there is no requirement in the bylaws that the LNC offer a lifetime membership. They may, but they don't have to. So if this were to pass, the LNC could lock everyone who's not currently a life member out from officer positions.
Microphone 1.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Nathan Madden from Arizona. I'd move to call the question.
Amen.
I need 20 rising seconds. Looks like 20 to me. All right, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of calling the question, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed? All right, the question has been called. We'll move to a vote on the bylaws amendment. All in favor, raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? Motion fails.
Motion to amend.
We're moving into the amendment. Go ahead, microphone 2.
So I'd like to amend the motion.
Name and state.
Sorry. Jim Fulner from Wisconsin, the least bad state in the country, but currently I'm representing Connecticut.
I was going to say.
I'd like to amend the motion to strike the word life and replace it with having been a bylaws sustaining member for at least 4 years.
I need 20 rising seconds.
To strike life in 4 years.
All right, that looks like 20. The floor is now open for debate. Would you like to speak to your motion?
I would like to speak to my motion. So I think the idea of the proposal is very good, that we don't get people who just showed up, who end up being in leadership positions just because, I don't know, my cock wants them to suck or something. And then, but the idea that you need to have had some skin in the game, 4 years I think is long enough. You've been through a presidential cycle at least once. You know what we're about, and you've decided, you know what, the Libertarian Party's cool, and I think I can do this for them. I think it's a good idea. Let's do it. Thanks.
Excuse me, sir, can you come back up? The secretary wants to make sure your motion is stated correctly. Jim. Sir? Jim. Could you please restate your motion for the secretary so we know we have it on record?
Strike the word life, so it would be member for at least. Strike the words 1 year and replace, so life we replace with bylaws sustaining, and we strike the word 1 year and replace it with 4 years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Microphone 3.
By the way, I don't think you need the word bylaws sustaining. Sustaining is sufficient. Nevertheless, I'm rising against the amendment. I just don't believe that we should be creating a 4-year seasoning period for people to join and be qualified to be an officer in this party. I've been with this party, this is my 19th straight convention, so I've been around for a long time, and I appreciate certainly the experience, but you know, somebody could come to this convention who's been here for less than 4 years, and I may have a lot of confidence in them and want to put them into an officer position. So I can't buy off on the 4-year requirement, so for that reason I'm going to say no.
Microphone 1.
Pat Dixon, Texas. I speak against the amendment. In my heart, I'm in favor of having higher standards for officers. But I think that's up to us as delegates to be asking those questions. If we're legislating this, then we're essentially substituting our own intelligence for rules. I think it's our responsibility as delegates to hold the higher standards. Bear in mind, if we do nothing on this proposal, you still have to be a sustaining member, but that doesn't need to be your standard. You can ask these officers for more than that. So we can scrutinize on their membership and their activism and everything else. So I don't think we need to look at the rules as setting the standard. It's up for you as a delegate to set the standard for who you vote for.
Microphone 2.
Ken Molman, delegate from Ohio. Hello. I rise to speak in favor of this motion. If it were up to me, I'd be 6 years on officers, 4 years for the rest of the LNC. We have to stop the cycle of putting brand new people that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground into leadership positions. That's what it is. There are popular people who are very charismatic. They're not even bad people, but they don't even know what they're getting into. They walk into it thinking it's one thing. I was around for I don't even know how long before I was on the LNC the first time, and I didn't know what I was really walking into. It's fun, right, guys? So the point is, it's actually not just for the safety or the well-being of this body, but also for the well-being of those who would be elected as well, people who have no clue what they're walking into. A 4-year seasoning is reasonable. Like I said, if it was up to me, it'd be 6 years for officers, 4 years for the rest of the LNC, but I'll take 4 years for it all. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Molman. Microphone 3.
Steve Herway, delegate from Virginia. I'm speaking against the amendment to add my voices to what's been said here already. I think that we forget as a body that we have made a major emphasis in increasing our membership in the party. And so there are a lot of people who do understand the principles of liberty, who feel and understand libertarianism, but might not currently identify as libertarian, right? They might identify as centrist, etc. And once they come around to understanding, oh, I actually am libertarian and I want to get engaged in this good work, they should have the ability to engage in that work to the best of their ability. And it is the duty of the delegates through the course of the campaign to decide if they're qualified or not, or if somebody else is more qualified. So I absolutely think that how long they've been engaged in the party should come into play as part of the campaign, but should not limit people who may or may not be qualified otherwise from engaging in that kind of approach.
Thank you very much. We'll move to microphone 1.
Hello again, Chairman. I move to call the question. This is Nathan Madden from Arizona.
Is there a second? All right, we have a motion and a second to call the question. We'll need a 3/4 vote to call the question. Or sorry, 2/3. All in favor, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed? All right, we've called the question. We'll move on to the main motion. All in favor of the motion, raise your token. The amendment, excuse me. All right, put them down. All opposed? Motion fails.
Mr. Chairman.
Who's?
Mike 3.
Mike 3.
Zach Kellier from Idaho. I would like to move to suspend the rules in the interest of getting through these proposals, of which we have 22 total from what I can see from the report, to change the procedure so that all consideration of proposals shall be within that 8-minute allocated debate time, including amendments to the proposal, and that there shall be one single vote per proposal after the 8 minutes have elapsed.
So my understanding would be to move each motion to have an 8-minute period where amendments can be considered in that period. So it'd be treated like a regular motion, but at the end of that.
Yes, I would like each proposal to effectively be treated like a regular motion, wherein amendments to the proposal could be made.
So what I need you to do is write that down or email it to the secretary so it can be considered, because it's way too long and he can't fit it all in one just by talking to you. So if you want to go ahead and email it to him, we can consider it.
Okay, then I'll simplify my motion. I move to suspend the rules to suspense with the second amending round of failed proposals.
Okay. All right, that's acceptable. Is there a second?
That's what I'm doing.
Point of inquiry.
Hold on a second. All right, so there's a motion and a second. Where's the point of inquiry? Microphone 1, go ahead.
Microphone 1, parliamentary inquiry. We do not have to complete the bylaws today, correct? We can pick that up tomorrow, right?
That is correct. If we recess till tomorrow, we would go to the orders of the day wherever we left off.
Very good.
All right, so we have a motion to suspend the rules in order to consider the question. All those in favor of suspending the rules, please raise your token. So just to clarify, it's a motion to suspend the rules in order to consider a motion which would allow us to consider each bylaws amendment within the 8-minute period and get rid of the amendment phase. Okay? So once again, all in favor? All opposed? Doesn't look like 2/3 to me. Motion fails.
Point of parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chair.
Microphone 3.
I was wondering if it would be possible, I know it's just a suggestion in Roberts, but that we not just alternate between mics, but for and against. That last one had a bunch of against without hearing sufficient for.
Your point is well taken. All right. The orders of the day. Oh, we voted on the. Oh, okay. And how much time do we have? Do we have any more amendments on the current proposal?
Yes.
Who said yes? Microphone 1.
Yeah, Mr. Nikela, I propose that we try, instead of 4 years, let's try for 2 years on this amendment.
Is there a second? I need you to stand if you're seconding, or raise it. Okay, that looks like 20. Would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, you know, we need this to keep out hostile takeovers. It's fairly obvious. Whether it be Bob fucking Barr or 2022.
2022, which I'm sorry I was a part of. Thank you. Chris Baker from Texas.
Mr. Baker, the question I have for you is: are you moving the entirety of the same previous amendment that they shall have been a sustaining member, and just changing it to 2 years?
Yeah, just changing from 4 years to 2 years.
But you're going for the same sustaining instead of life.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you for that question.
How much time we got on? All right, we are out of time, which means we're going to move directly to a vote on this item. So all in favor of the amendment, please raise your token.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm a slow typer.
All right, put it down. All opposed. This is, oh, it's a majority. I'm sorry, it is majority on the amendment. I'm going to ask one more time. All in favor? Yeah, it looks like a majority. The amendment carries. So we'll now be voting on the bylaw as amended. All in favor, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed. That is close, but I don't think it's.
Mr. Chairman, microphone one.
Who's speaking?
Eric
Is that
Keel.
interrupting motion?
Eric Keel, Mississippi. Clarification or information question. If this passes, can it be suspended at a future convention with a vote, or could the amendment be revised to allow suspension?
I don't think this question is in order at this time. We're in the middle of voting. It was really close. I'm going to do a counted vote.
Thank you.
Call the tellers.
All right, I'm going to need Evans, and I'm going to need Mark Montoni, and then I'd ask and I'm going to ask all the ayes to please stand. Okay, you got that in? I'll go over here.
Point of inquiry, microphone 3. Is this a 2/3 vote?
Where's the point of inquiry? Is that over here? Go ahead.
James St. John, Virginia. Is this not a 2/3 vote?
It's a 2/3 vote, but it was really close. So I'm going to ask everybody to please stand. If I count you, or if Evans counts you, you're going to sit down, and we're going to combine the totals and figure this out, all right?
Mr. Chair, point of personal privilege. Hmm?
Point of parliamentary inquiry. Point of parliamentary inquiry.
No, I'm asking about the fact that
Oh, no, that one did. Bylaws and musters of the visa going to the
Oh, that was what I was asking. That's what I meant. Mr. Chair.
Hold on. Mr. Molman, where are you? What is the current threshold for
Mr. Chair.
two-thirds? Hold on. What is the current threshold for two-thirds? All right, because we are at 286 to the affirmative. Oh, 380? No, 286. You said 180?
Point of order, Mr. Chair. It's not 2/3 of all registered delegates. It's 2/3 of those voting. So we need to count both and then see if the yeas are twice the nays.
I didn't hear you. What was that?
Yeah, it's not 2/3 of all registered delegates. It's 2/3 of those voting on this question.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
All right, Avens and Mark, we're going to go ahead and count the nays. So all nays, please stand.
There's not, but it's not part of business, so convention can make whatever we want. Not a convention. No signatures. Huh? No, it's fine. He's throwing a fit about it because he didn't know. So I said, so there you go.
Make that make sense.
Yep. Yep. And the Keynote, you know it's of the votes cast.
Yeah. All right, we had 507 votes cast, of which 2/3 would be 334. We only received 286 ayes and 221 noes. Motion fails.
Point of personal privilege.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Ford for a quick announcement without objection.
Hello, folks. With regard to the debate for chair, there will be no top 4 polling. Folks who have properly met the requirement for signed petitions will be included in the chair debate. I ask if anyone has any questions on that, please meet me outside. I'll be happy to or find out anything they need. I do want to take a moment and actually celebrate the quiet heroes of this convention. That's the tellers. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand up. Come on, stand up. Everybody stretch, stand up, and give a round of applause to the tellers who, for years, Mr. Seebeck, grind away, crunch away, tirelessly verify. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of the verification that they have to do for each one of these debates. So if you see them, thank them. We don't need any more petitions submitted. And again, if folks have questions, come see me so that we can speed up things here. Thank you very much.
If I may.
And also, please give a hand to Mr. Ford, who put this on for us.
Point of information.
His job pays as well as mine.
Point of information.
Point of information, microphone 1.
Randy, Simbro, Texas. Can Pat Ford tell us when and where the chair debate is?
Mr. Ford, what time does the chair debate start tomorrow? He says he's going to announce it before we adjourn tonight.
Do we know where?
I think it's
location.
We're going to find out because it depends a little bit on the hotel and the AV.
Wait, it's not going to be in here?
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chair?
We'll find out.
Currently on the schedule, it is set for 9:30 a.m. here in the main hall.
There you go.
Okay.
Parliamentary inquiry on Mike.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's a parliamentary
Name and state.
inquiry. Andrew Allgood from the Free State of New Hampshire.
Can you speak a little bit closer to the microphone?
Yes, sir. Is there a restriction on the amount of times a delegate may use the mic, and what is that limit? I've asked 5 people and received 5 different answers, so it's unclear.
Are you asking how much time someone can be on the microphone?
Not the time, but the amount of times that somebody can approach the microphone.
Number of times is twice per item.
Twice per item, thank you.
Correct.
Point of personal privilege.
And what was
on
your
Mike
name,
Green.
sir?
Andrew Allgood from New Hampshire.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, we're going to go ahead and move to
Point
the
of
next
personal privilege.
point of personal privilege.
Thank you. I actually have 2 issues. Number 1, I'm sitting way in the back. Is it possible for secretary to actually zoom that in more? Because it's really hard for us to read what's on the screen in the back. And my second request is that the chair, when motions are being made and it's time for us to vote, that he repeats the actual motion, because there's a lot of confusion for myself and I know people around me that we don't actually know what we are voting on. Thank you.
You're understood.
Mr. Chairman.
Microphone 1.
Gabe Wozniak, Florida. I'm seeing a lot of tired and restless faces. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn for the rest of the day.
That would require 20 seconds. And I don't appear to see 20. All right, we're on to the next bylaws proposal. I will recognize Florida. I'll recognize our bylaws chairman to present.
Proposal 7, debating and voting on bylaws and platform amendments. Currently, the bylaws and platform committees use different confusing procedural standards. The proposal provides a single, consistent procedure for both simplifying the convention process. This amendment shall take effect upon the final adjournment of the convention in which it is adopted.
All right, the item has been moved. We're now on to discussion. Is anyone seeking to be recognized on this item? Microphone 3.
I rise in opposition to this, Aaron Starr, California. What we're doing is you're taking a more simple process that's currently used for the bylaws and rules debating, and you're using the more complicated process of the platform committee debates, and I don't think that helps us. For example, the platform committee debates, you always have, you could have a dueling committee report and a minority report. You don't have that with bylaws. So if you really want to stretch out, now I understand having minority reports for platform issues, because that's about where do we stand on a position of public policy. But if you think you've got a lot of proposals now to deal with bylaws, think about all these minority proposals that'll be coming up and you having to decide between those. So this is not something that's going to save time. This is going to consume time. I heartily suggest that you vote this down. Thank you.
All right. Microphone 1.
Point of personal privilege. I just would like to remind the chair that not all delegates can stand for long periods of time. So counting by standing only is probably an ADA violation.
Microphone 2.
I move to call the question. Stephen Babka, delegate from Ohio.
All right, there's a motion to call the question. Do I have 20 seconds? Looks like 20. All in favor of calling the question, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed. The question has been called. We will move to a vote on the question, and I've been asked if we can repeat the motion. Mr. Dar, if you wouldn't mind just giving a brief description again.
This one for Proposal 7 is debating and voting on bylaws platform amendments and would make the process more consistent between both committees.
All right. All in favor, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? Doesn't look like 2/3. Motion fails. All right. We're now on to the amendment phase. Are there any amendments on to proposal number 7? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Doesn't look like there's any amendments. So we'll move on to proposal number 8, restructure LNC.
Point of information. Point of information. Number 1.
Go ahead, sir.
Now, Ted Brown from Texas. Question that on that last proposal, the question was called before there was any debate whatsoever on it, and I believe you should rule that out of order until someone's able to be debate.
There was debate, and then somebody called the question. The body decided to call the question, so we ended debate. Mr. Dar, off to you.
Proposal number 8, restructure LNC. Our national committee is larger than it needs to be effective. The proposal replaces regional representatives with additional at-large members and uses cumulative voting to empower every delegate to vote for every seat. Current regional representatives will serve until the 2028 adjournment. No regions will be formed in 2028 if this proposal is adopted.
All right, we are now on to debate. Microphone, well, I was just on 1. Let me go to 3 and I'll come back. Microphone 3.
Alicia Purcell, delegate from California. There are portions of this that I could support, but with all the items lumped together, I cannot support it as written. I could support a smaller LNC. There, with 17 or 18 people for an organization this size is excessive. But I'll tell you my main hang-ups on the way it's written are the cumulative voting and increasing the threshold for suspension from 2/3 to 4/5, which is, it's hard to get 2/3, getting 4/5, it would never happen even when it should happen. So I have to oppose this as written. Thank you.
All right, microphone 2.
Amanda Griffiths, delegate from Wisconsin. There are a couple of problems with this proposal. The first is that cumulative voting...
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Were you...
Not yet. Go ahead.
Microphone 3.
No. I'll wait 1 second. I'll get to you in just a minute.
There are a couple of problems with this proposal. The first is that cumulative voting rewards people who are voting in a block, and they punish people who want to vote for multiple candidates or give their votes to multiple candidates. The second problem is that while we do have an LNC that is inefficient, it isn't necessarily limiting the representative capacity of people across the country that's going to fix it. So right now, at-larges are elected at convention and only at convention, which means that people who are able to attend convention are the people who have the ability to choose representatives, and only that. I am not a fan of regions, but at the same time, what at-large does is it privileges people who are able to show up, and usually privileges larger states. Again, larger states do deserve a hearing, but I worry about the representation of the entire body.
Where was that point of order?
Microphone number three, Mr.
Number
Chair.
3, go ahead, sir.
Just, we've had 2 negative speakers to this proposal, so I would just ask if you would show someone who was
Fair.
in support.
Is there
And
anyone in support of the motion who'd like to speak?
Back to microphone 3.
Microphone 3,
need
you're
it.
in the right spot at the right time.
So, Rob Latham, Bylaws Committee member, delegate from Utah. So, the reason cumulative voting is in here is in the event that we vote down electronic balloting for some reason, it's just not working for us, that convention, and we need a hand-countable way to get a semi-proportional result for at-large members. Right now we use approval voting. If you look in our convention special rules of order, it's Rule 8.2C, I believe, and it's failed us because we have a majority requirement as well on top of approval voting. So Tom Roulette, delegate from Missouri, did an interesting study when we adopted approval voting in 2014. It seems to have only worked for us at one time on one convention. Every other time, we either failed to fully populate the at-large members and or the
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Hold on. Let the gentleman finish. She's recognized for debate.
Okay. Or we suspended the rules and did plurality. And then we allowed a certain voting bloc to run the table. This is an anti-run the table proposal. And so the idea is we're making the LNC board more democratic, not less democratic, and more ideological diverse, not more concentrated. So I hope people will join me in supporting this. Let me explain, by the way, the more than 4/5, why that's there. So if we adopt this proposal, we then have a 7-member at-large part of the LNC. We have 4 officers. That's 11 members. Officers probably have majority support to get elected. But if we elect a 7-member LNC, you're probably going to have 4 in the majority, 3 in the minority. If we keep it at 2/3, then that majority, 4 officers plus 4 at-large members, can vote off the minority 3. So that kind of undermines the purpose of keeping it proportional. So that's why that more than 4/5 is there. And if we change the numbers, we can adjust that, but we undermine, again, having that different voice on the LNC, different points of view, keeping the majority accountable with that map the way it is. So 2/3, because if you're a majority and you're an officer, then if 2/3 of that constituted LNC should be sufficient to remove you if that becomes necessary. But we need a higher threshold, so again, the majority is not voting off the minority. I hope that explains that. But if we've adopted electronic voting, perhaps in 2 years when we implement it, we don't need to do a hand-countable method like cumulative voting. We can use single transferable vote.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Point
We
of
support
order.
this.
What is your point of order?
As I recall, this proposal says it depends on cumulative voting. Didn't we vote cumulative voting down earlier in here? Is this in order, given that we already rejected cumulative voting, which they say is part of the motion?
Yes. Oh, apparently, I apologize for the, we're still, we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So, give me one. Yeah. It would still be in order because a new proposal can bring up something that has been previously defeated, as long as it's
I'm
different.
here for debate.
Are you for or against? Because I did 2 against, 1 for.
I'm against.
You're against? Is there anybody else that's for this motion that'd like to speak? Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so the LNC elections, as they are right now, already suffer enough from democracy. I mean, celebritarianism doesn't necessarily lend itself to competent people, just popular people. And so I think the removal of regional representation will ultimately just further solidify a popular vote, which is what this does. Even if it is cumulative to kind of mitigate that, it still ends up with region interests going out the window, which of course goes back to ballot access and the various affiliate needs. Thank you.
Microphone 2.
Stephen Babka, delegate from Ohio. I move to call the question.
Are there 20 seconds? All right, looks like 20. We'll move to a vote. All in favor of calling the question, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? Motion carries. We'll now proceed to a vote. All in favor of the bylaws proposal, raise your token. I'll reread the motion. Mr. Dar, please.
This one is restructure LNC proposal, proposal number 8. This proposal replaces regional representatives with additional at-large members and uses cumulative voting. Thank you.
All right, is everybody clear on what we're voting on? Anybody not clear? Okay. All in favor of the proposal, please raise your token. All opposed? Motion fails. All right, we are now on to the amendment portion. Is
Chair?
anyone seeking to be recognized for the amendment? Microphone 2.
Jim Fulner, Connecticut. I'd move to motion the 4/5 to 2/3. Thank you.
From 4/5 to 2/3? Is that correct? 4/5 to 2/3. Okay. Is there a second? Is there 20 seconds? I don't see 20 seconds. Motion dies for lack of second.
Mr. Chair?
Microphone 3.
Thank you, Aaron Stark, California. So there were some parts of this proposal I liked. I did not like the 4/5. I did not like the cumulative voting. But the rest of it, I think, has potential here. So I would, as an amendment, I would say do Article 7, Section 2B, that change, and C. On Article 7, Section 8, with the strikeout is fine. And on Rule 8, Section 4, the strikeout is fine. So basically, those 3 changes. So we wouldn't be changing 2/3 to 4/5. We wouldn't be using cumulative voting in any aspect of this.
Point of order.
Hold on. Continue.
Just so that my motion's clear, because it's not written up there. Basically, everything except for the portions that incorporate cumulative voting and the 4/5, with the exception of those 2 aspects, the rest of the proposal is fine. That would be my motion.
There's no way. Can you hold on, Mr. Secretary? No, I think you voted. The amendment didn't get voted on. That one amendment died for lack of a second. Now it's another new amendment. Do you have the specific language that you'd like to amend?
Sure. So Article 7, Section 2B, change 5 to 7. Article 7, Section 2C, strike out all the language. Article 7, Section 8, strike all the language. Rule 8, Section 4, strike all the language. That's the proposal.
I don't think the Secretary was tracking your changes.
No, I don't want the 4/5 thing.
Point of order. Can the
I don't want-
delegate from
no.
California write notes and pass it to the body or to the chair of the bylaws committee?
I'm gonna have to ask you if you could.
I think I know what I think I understand what Mr. Starr was doing. He just said what to keep. Correct?
Correct. Just
You
what
want
to
to
keep.
strike everything else. So I'm going to do this in a weird way, and you tell me if I am correct. I'm going to strike, and I'm going to change that color to purple, and strike, purple, strike, and then, did you say all of Article 15?
So
Rule
Article
8?
15 is not part of my proposal, so basically you'll purple
the-
strike out 15.
Don't strike it?
If your purple purple means that it's not part of the proposal, right?
Purple means that you're moving to remove it.
No. I think because this is going to take so long, I'm going to withdraw my proposal because it's really hard to do this on the floor.
Thank you.
So,
How much time?
Mr. Chair?
All right, is there anyone else seeking to be
Chair.
recognized for the purposes of this amendment?
Mr. Stars is off the floor, correct?
Yes. Well,
Like one
yes,
now?
but I'm gonna go ahead and rotate because I was just on microphone 3. So I'm gonna get to microphone 1. And you have an amendment proposal?
I have a subsidiary motion. Given that the complexity of this amendment, I would move that we suspend the rules and proceed to Proposal 9.
Okay. There's a motion to suspend the rules.
Who is that? Your name and state, sir?
My apologies, Mr. Secretary. This is Reese Smith, delegate from Pennsylvania.
All right, it's moved and seconded. The motion is to suspend the rules to move to proposal number 9. All in favor of suspending the rules, please raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? All right, the rules are suspended. We are going to proceed to the next proposal.
Mr. Chair, before we proceed, point of personal privilege over at microphone 3.
Go ahead. What's your point of personal privilege?
Yes, this is from the tellers. We have 7 clipboards currently outstanding. If you could get them back to the tellers pit, would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, microphone 1.
Go ahead.
Before we move to the next amendment, it seems that you are making an effort to give equal time to both sides of the debate, which seems to disenfranchise the majority of each position.
Here's what I'm going to do, because I liked it better when I went back and forth between each microphone, because someone might not be for or against, it might be ambiguous, and I don't think it's fair to...
20% of the room shouldn't get 50% of the debate.
All right, Mr. Bylaws Chairman Dar, go ahead with proposal number 9.
Proposal number 9, ethics. This proposal codifies explicit ethical standards regarding compensation and the use of party resources. It enhances transparency and prevents leadership from using their positions for personal financial gain. Bylaws Committee moves Proposal 9.
All right, we're on discussion.
Mr. Chair.
Microphone 2.
This is Ken Molman, delegate from Ohio. I would like to point out that I have proposed this proposal in the Bylaws Committee 2 years ago and 4 years ago. This language is actually taken from the LPKY bylaws. It was put into place in 2017. This is not about anybody in particular. It's about doing what's right by the organization at all times. People should not use their titles for their personal gain or the gain of their friends and family. That's it.
Microphone 3.
Point of information, is embezzlement theft?
Say it.
Yes. Microphone 1.
Well, I get the sentiment to this, and I like the sentiment. I think the way the proposal is, there's some issues where I think an LNC member would not be able to crowdfund or let their region pay for them to travel to LNC meetings or party business like that, which would be voluntary, but I think banned under this, and I think overly restrictive in that sense.
Microphone 2.
I think the body would like if there was a little more debate before I do my thing.
Okay. Microphone 3.
Mr. Chair, I would like to remind that was 3 people in a row who did not state their name or their delegation before speaking. Please do so.
Microphone 3, name and state.
Paul Bracco, delegate from Virginia. I rise in opposition to this amendment as proposed. 8A especially, that compensation or lack thereof should be a decision left to the LNC. This would restrict that. I think that the LNC should be allowed to do that if they wish. We seek to become a more professional party. Professional parties are compensated for their time. I think that this should be voted down, and 8A should be struck in the amendment phase.
Microphone 1.
Pat Dixon, Texas. I strongly speak in favor of this proposal. This is probably my favorite proposal in the entire body of work. Well done, Paul and committee. In regard to the last point, I served on the LNC. I would never want anyone on the LNC to be a compensated person. We had staff. We have executive directors. Those should be compensated, yes. having a body govern the LP when they're compensated, nah, there's no way I can support that. Let's vote this in favor as the Bylaws Committee put it together.
Microphone 2.
Ryan Brown, North Carolina. We all know embezzlement's bad, theft is bad, corruption's bad. Anytime you have any sort of ethics standard or code of conduct, whatever it is, it always becomes a cudgel and it's a waste of time. If people are corrupt, remove them. Otherwise, don't elect them. That's all. We don't need a silly ethics thing to fight about in LNC meetings about hour 4 in the meeting. So thank you.
They would just do that. They go up and state their...
Microphone 3.
I think we can use language such as this. Here's my concern. My concern, sorry, thank you, Aaron Starr, California. My concern is that we do have situations where somebody can get paid to do a task with the full knowledge of the LNC. My issue is when something's done where you don't even disclose that relationship, which is what we've seen in the past. So for example, if we had, let's say, Bill Redpath was going to go out and do signature drive to get ballot access in the state, and he's on the LNC, do we say, you know what, we're not going to pay him to do that, but he's really, really good at this? So I think the problem is the lack of disclosure. It's okay to have a conflict as long as the entire LNC knows about it, and in the face of that decides that this is okay. The problem is when things are done in secret, which is what we've seen. So I think that I love the sentiment behind this, but I don't think it should be handled quite the way that this is written.
Microphone 1. No? Microphone 2.
Stephen Babka, delegate from Ohio. I move to call the question.
Looks like 20 seconds. We will go to a vote to call the question. All in favor of calling the question, raise your token. Put them down. All opposed? The question has been called. We'll now move to consider the question, which is on the ethics bylaws proposal. All in favor of the proposal, raise your token. Put them down. All opposed?
If there's 2 more yeses than noes, then you're okay. If there's not, then you didn't make 2 votes.
No, this is just majority.
I don't think you got it.
Thank you.
Do you want to do it again?
We're going to have to do a count. All right, all in favor of the motion, please raise your token or stand if you can. I actually prefer if you stand, if you're able.
That could be 2/3. If you are unable to stand, please indicate to the person counting, wave, get their attention, ask the person next to you something.
What's that? Well, I'm not. No, I have an amendment to this. Yeah. But I'm. What's that? Right. Yeah. Right. Don't get.
Not to interrupt the vote, but if your license plate is FAM 0836, your car's about to get towed, so get it if it's any of the people here. Michigan? It's Michigan.
Of course.
Might not even be us.
I didn't get counted. I'm a yes. He can't vote. He's not a
Okay. Oh, you're good.
Ovens. Somebody's phone's going off. It's irritating the shit out of me. No, I can do it. I don't mind when it irritates me.
That's a great thing about tonight is I just let the sound ringing in my ears gradually.
So
your amendment was to strike it. Was there any replacement? Just strike it.
All right, we have 336 ayes. We will now count the noes. If you're voting no, please stand or raise your token.
it's like I have disagreements, but
There are amendments that are.
yes, Mr. Ford.
Yeah. And hey, I get it. I mean, it's what Ken put together. But right.
Nathan, I got you?
Yep.
Might be about to get counted as a no. I am a no. Okay.
While we're waiting, I'll make a couple of announcements. Tom Queter presents The Power to Move. The Torch Club Grand Suite will be tonight in room, actually I think you should have received an email, so I won't say what room. Invited guests and welcome package holders. The Torch Club is for anybody who had donated $2,000 between conventions to the National Party. In any contribution, qualified, unqualified, whatever. And then karaoke hosted by LP Texas is it Big and Bright? The Stars at Night? That'll be 9 p.m. in room ABC. I don't know what that means.
336
Do we know where the Power to Move documentary is being shown, Mr. Ford?
Look, because we had 336, right? Plus 170.
5:45 at
times 0.66 is 2/3. Right. No? Oh, no.
in this room.
Plus 175.
It'll also be in the ABC room, so you can go to that and then stick around for the Texas karaoke.
Yep.
176, wasn't it? So 336 plus 176.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, as long as it's Tom Queter over there, you know, E3F and then karaoke ABC. Yeah, I just forgot to put it on the time because it's right after we adjourn.
342 and 342.
So 5:45 / when we adjourn. 15 minutes.
We adjourn and we have a closing
All right.
speaker.
We had 336 voting in the affirmative, 176 voting in the negative. 2/3 would be 342. Motion fails. We are now on to amendments.
Mr. Chairman, microphone 1. I have a motion for amendment.
They called information about if we're going to. That was what we voted on. Okay?
I'm sorry, which microphone?
Microphone 1, I have an amendment.
Go ahead.
Can we get the proposal back up on screen real quick?
Mr. Secretary, they're asking for the proposal.
Name and state is Nathan Madden, Arizona. Can you scroll down to the second part of it?
I'm concerned that ethics 9 will still come up.
Yeah,
Are we going to vote on that in the future?
Are they going to vote about what in the future? I'm sorry.
See, proposal 9 ethics.
I'm just going to
There's going to be a vote on it.
Okay, so for subsection A, I move to strike the entire subsection A, and then to add to the end of subsection B, except for the purposes of collecting funds for travel for LNC purposes.
Could you repeat that last part slowly?
At the end of subsection B, add excepting for the purposes of fundraising travel for LNC purposes. Not exciting, accepting.
I'll get you.
It says exciting.
No, you could just speak against the amendment. It's opened up for debate. I should wait? Yeah, you have to wait till it's open.
Thank you.
You can't use points of personal privilege. Just skip it. Yeah, I was in line.
Is that correct?
And then,
Is that correct?
may I speak to my amendment?
Is that
Hold on.
correct, Mr.
Is that correct on what's on the screen?
Accept instead of accepting, but yes. And then may I speak to my amendment?
Hold on. Is there 20 seconds? All right. You have the seconds. Go ahead and speak to your motion.
Thank you. So a couple of the objections that were made were basically over whether or not you could fundraise for your travel, which I believe you should be able to, especially if you're regional. You should be able to fundraise from your region. And then the strike to A is mostly over the Bill Redpath thing. So.
All right, we're going to go microphone 2 to microphone 3. Go ahead. Name and state.
Eli Dalton Webb, Arizona. Mr. Chair, would I be able to amend his amendment?
Yes.
Is that in order?
Yes.
That's in order? Okay, go ahead.
What was the name?
Your name one more time for the secretary.
Eli Dalton Webb, Arizona.
Go ahead, sir.
Can I see his amendment? I would amend Mr. Madden's language to say, except for donations explicitly to individual officers. Yep.
Where are you inserting this?
Where is this going to be inserted? Are you striking except for fundraising travel expenses by LNC? For LNC purposes?
Say that again?
Where exactly, what are you amending? Where are you putting it in this motion? And you're making this amendment?
Sit down. I guess I'll just amend his to say travel and food.
Is there a second? Amendment dies for lack of second. Microphone 3.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to postpone this item until the first item of business tomorrow morning. That will give me some time to craft some language, and maybe I can present something that would help us achieve the 2/3. But I think crafting this on the fly here is not the way to go. So my motion is to postpone until first order of business tomorrow morning.
A second. All right, well, looks like we have the seconds. We're on debate to postpone till first item of business tomorrow.
Request for information.
Request for information, microphone 1.
Pat Dixon from Texas. This is a question on, I think we're talking about 8A, right? Because when it said delete A, I think it's 8A, which says, the way I'm reading this, you can be compensated for services pre-approved by the executive committee. So I think that means, Bill, I'll use you as an example. If Bill Redpath said, I have a proposal, compensate me this much for these services.
I'm sorry, sir, what's your information?
It's a request for information. Is that what this means? That when it says services pre-approved by the executive committee, it would include compensation for services?
Would the Bylaws Committee Chair like to opine?
That is my understanding, yes.
All right. Yep.
All right, we are discussing whether or not to postpone this item to first item of business tomorrow.
We voted.
Anyone seeking to be recognized for discussion?
I would
Microphone.
like to make a motion to
we're in discussion.
recess for the evening because there are other events going on.
Wait, hold on a second. We're still discussing. Would you like to be,
Sure.
Go ahead, Mr.
Charles Bellet from Louisiana. I think the gentleman from California has a very good point. This should be put off until tomorrow morning.
All right, any further discussion on postponement?
Mr. Chair, I have a request for information.
Yes, sir.
Would
Name
that
and state.
Jack Westbrook, state of Texas, would that proposal that's just made for recess, would that prevent the keynote at 5:30?
The current, what we're discussing right now is whether or not to take the current proposal and postpone it to first thing tomorrow.
But we're not recessing now.
That's not currently under deliberation.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the postponement motion? Hearing none.
Mike 2.
Oh, microphone 2.
Yes, Omar Recaro, Florida.
Go ahead, Mr. Recaro.
I generally rise in support of what Mr. Starr is trying to do, but let's all work together because this is good. The main thing that this bylaw amendment is trying to accomplish is good. So if we do this, if we're in favor of this, because I know we're at orders of the day, let's make sure that we all talk to each other so that this thing can pass tomorrow. Thank you.
Where are we at on time? Any other discussion on postponement?
I'd like to call the question. Sean Sparkman, Texas.
Where are we at? Calling the question?
Calling the question.
Well, I don't think there was any more discussion, so I think we're actually going to go to a vote on postponement anyway. It does require a majority. So anybody in favor, all in favor of postponing this motion to tomorrow, please raise your token. All right, put them down. All opposed? Looks like it was a majority. Motion carries.
Mr. Chair, microphone 1.
Microphone 1.
Jack Westbrook from the state of Texas. I would, if necessary, if we need to suspend the rules, I'll include that. I don't know if we do or not, but my motion is that we call for orders of the day to be moved back to the current time at 5:27. Press on with the keynote speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, right now we are, 5:30 would be orders of the day, unless there's a motion to recess till tomorrow.
Motion to recess till tomorrow.
Name and delegation, please.
Oh, Tamara Lessner, State of South Dakota.
Say it again one more time.
Tamara Lesnar, State of South Dakota.
Did you get that?
Mr. Chair, may I clarify?
Hold on one second, sir.
Thank you.
Got it. All right, and so your motion is to recess till tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
So I made a motion, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to clarify that.
It wasn't a motion to recess, it was orders of the day.
Well, but it was a motion to change the orders of the day time.
Yeah. Oh, give me one moment, one moment.
Well, if it accomplishes the same thing.
Well, that's my question is, if we recess at this point, is the keynote speaker going to be allowed to do what they do? Is that part of this
that's
body?
after. Yeah.
That's all I
Yes,
need
sir.
to know. Thank you.
Point
All
of
right.
order, point of order. The name is spelled Tamara. It's whatever. The last name is Lesn, like in Nancy, AR. Take that SLE out. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, guys.
Mr. Chairman, I have a request for information.
I have great news. It is 5:30. We're at the orders of the day, and I'm calling us recess till tomorrow morning. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
So here's my question.
And what time? And just an FYI, we reconvene tomorrow at 9:30, not 10 a.m. 9:30 for tomorrow. See you all bright and early. What's that? Oh yeah. And just an FYI, the chair's debate is 8:30, so get here an hour early if you'd like to check out.
No, it ain't. 9:30.
Oh, 9:30. Yeah, you lied to me. Blame the guy in the tie dye. Nine.
You're out. Right.
Ready? Okay, thank you, sir.
Well, call the questions.
Yeah, there is.
Is it Keeter?
There's a I don't know. Who's the speaker?
Who's the speaker?
Paul.
Okay.
Paul, who's the speaker? What's their name? As a reminder, we do have a speaker, so please take your seats.
Yes, a speaker will be forthcoming, so there's still activity here in the hall.
It's up on this there, so you're good. So go ahead. Hi, I'm Evan. Nice to meet you. Oh, I think we've met before.
Okay. All right, folks, if you want to end the Fed, please stay in your seats. We have one more speaker. Folks, if you want to end the Fed, so folks, it is my pleasure to introduce to you someone who I think has actually done the impossible. He's actually, and I was there, I was one of the boomers, spent an entire day with about 75 boomers. When I walked out, I actually knew how to use a cake wallet. I actually knew how to use a crypto wallet. I actually knew how to send and receive crypto. Aaron Day is a serial entrepreneur and New Hampshire liberty activist who has run super PACs, founded political organizations, and serves as the chair of the Free State Project. For the past 3.5 years, he has been warning the public about the threat of technology, fighting for crypto prisoners of war, and building parallel systems with his wife Eileen through the Daylight Freedom Foundation. He's also a fellow at the Brownstone Institute. I want to turn it over to you, Aaron Day. Thank you.
All right, who's ready to end the Fed? All right, well, there's the guy that started the whole movement, Ron Paul. How many people here got introduced to libertarianism because of Ron Paul?
No.
All right, Ron Paul and the book End the Fed. kicked all of this off, but I've got bad news. The Ron Paul revolution in the Republican Party is dead. It's been 14 years, and at one point there were 3 people, Rand Paul, Thomas Massie, and Justin Amash, and now, after last week, this week, we're down to just Rand Paul. So the movement to end the Fed since 2008 has not been successful. In fact, 85% of base money was printed since Ron Paul wrote End the Fed. Today, the dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power since the founding of the Federal Reserve. And even since 2020, a dollar from 2020 will only buy you 69 cents worth of goods or services in 2026. The other bad news is fiat currency always fails. What's going on with the dollar isn't the exception. Every fiat currency in human history has failed. The average fiat currency only lasts 27 years, and there are 7 main reasons that fiat currency fails. The US dollar is hitting all 7 of those marks. And even if you say, well, the dollar is the global reserve currency, it's different. If you look at the 5 previous global reserve currencies, they only lasted 94 years. The dollar's been the global reserve currency for 103 years. Time is about up. Now, what happens when you use the dollar? When you use the dollar, you help murder 500,000 babies in Iraq. Anyone remember this? Anyone remember Madeleine Albright when she did an interview and said, well, we think it's worth the price. 500,000 dead children. If you want to fast forward to more recent times, this year, if you're using the dollar, you're helping to support the murder of 165 school children in Iran. The dollar's contributed to murdering 18,430 children in Gaza. And of course, the dollar was used to fund all sides of COVID tyranny, whether it was the actual creation of COVID itself, or the vaccine, or the lockdowns, or the mandates. So what's the future of the dollar? Well, currently, the dollar is already 97% digital. And a lot of people don't realize our money is already heavily tracked, it's programmable, and it's fairly easily censorable. If you think about a health savings account is a debit card where the IRS basically tells you how much of your own money you can use to spend on a pre-approved list of healthcare services. An EBT card, or food stamps, is also programmable money. So while many cheer RFK Jr. stating that you can no longer buy sugary drinks, understand that you're just moving one step forward in making digital money more programmable. In the United States, customers pay $61 billion a year to comply with Know Your Customer anti-money laundering laws. These KYC AML laws catch almost no criminals. So then there's been a lot of talk about central bank digital currencies, and people are putting forward these fake bills saying the US isn't going to have a CBDC, we're not going to research a CBDC. I've got news for you. The United States, or the Federal Reserve, has already completed 3 successful CBDC pilots. These pilots have been going on since 2019. And this isn't like Obamacare, where it's a bunch of technically unsophisticated bureaucrats creating technology. It's the wealthiest banks in the world funding the best developers in the world through MIT. In fact, through an Jeffrey Epstein-funded MIT group. 2 of the 3 CBDC pilots have Bitcoin Core developers involved. So the threat of CBDCs is real, and the progress is further than almost anyone realizes. But even if we move beyond CBDCs, what Trump has done is he's signed an executive order saying we're not going to have a CBDC, and he's implemented something worse called the Genius Act. The Genius Act is essentially a backdoor CBDC. It takes private stablecoins, which are incredibly popular, and adds government surveillance to it. All the know your customer laws, all the AML laws, all of the sophisticated surveillance that we already have on our money now applies to private stablecoins. But that's not the worst still. There's a piece of legislation working its way through the Senate right now, which is the largest surveillance bill in U.S. history. And no one is talking about the Clarity Act and what the implications are. People think that the Clarity Act is a bill that's pro-crypto and it's going to bring trillions of dollars into the crypto space and your Bitcoin is going to go to 1 million. What the Clarity Act does is it puts in place a regime to track all tokens, all crypto and token transactions for 5 years, shares that information with multiple departments of the federal government and foreign central banks. This is then going to be applied to the tokenization of everything that you own. So not just how you pay, your stocks, your bonds, your house, all of your assets are going to be tokenized and they will be under this regulatory regime. So this is the bill that you may not have heard of, that they're trying to push through and sign by July the 4th, and it, in conjunction with the Genius Act, is how you will own nothing. To make matters worse, if you want to see what the future of this looks like, look at the proposed technocratic reconstruction of Gaza. They're proposing to take an open-air prison and turn it into a digital prison. And this isn't like Klaus Schwab with a architectural sketch of a 15-minute city. This is an actual business plan. And we know who the investors are, and we know who the beneficiaries are. It's Oracle, it's Palantir, it's Trump family, it's Jared Kushner. They're going to build a digital prison in Gaza. If they can build a digital prison in Gaza, they can build a digital prison anywhere. Well, what happens when you challenge the dollar? What happens when you use alternatives to fiat currency? Or you promote technology to make digital currencies private? Trump said the war on crypto was over. I was at a Bitcoin conference with Kash Patel and Todd Blanche, and the whole title of the panel was Ending the War on Bitcoin. The war on crypto has accelerated. 2 years ago, I was at this conference and we did an Enemies of the State event. And at that point, we were there raising awareness for Ross Ulbricht, who fortunately he's pardoned, Roger Ver, and Ian Freeman. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we're going to have another version of Enemies of the State, and now we have 7 crypto prisoners of war. The war is not over, it just changed presidents. This system cannot be fixed. For 17 years, I've gone to political events and seen people cheer and rally and hold signs saying, "End the Fed." Nothing has happened. Nothing will happen. The Fed is not going to be audited. The Federal Reserve is not going to be shut down. In fact, we're witnessing something even worse. We're witnessing with stable coins and tokenization what I call the creature from Epstein's Island. A whole new set of financial players, and I'll certainly be sharing more about that in the months to come. So who wants to end the Fed? Here's how we end the Fed. Ditch the dollar. Stop using the dollar. You're not going to vote your way out. Withdrawal. Stop using fiat currency. I have done this personally. Many others are doing this. My journey began in 2012. I learned about Bitcoin through Ian Freeman and Roger Ver, through the Free State Project. Started using it. In 2019, I stopped using a personal bank account. And in 2024, I moved entirely into privacy coins. And the reason for this is, if you're not aware, I'm sure there are many Bitcoin fans here, Bitcoin is on a public ledger. Bitcoin can be tracked, and by being tracked, it can be seized and confiscated. Maybe not technically, but through the force of the law. And so far, when pressured, everyone has caved. This is how the United States of America has 328,000 Bitcoin. They didn't buy it, they didn't mine it, they stole it through civil asset forfeiture. They were able to do that because Bitcoin is on a public ledger. So I've moved into Zano, and I'm talking today about Zano because Zano is not only a privacy coin that you can use for transactions where people can't see the values or who's sending money to who, but you can use it to tokenize other assets, stocks, bonds, land, etc., with that same privacy. So if you're not familiar with Zano, it was built by the same engineer who developed the technology behind Monero. And Monero you may be more familiar with. It is the most popular privacy coin. This developer took that idea and expanded it to be able to create tokens for other assets that have the same Monero level privacy. The project itself has been around for 7 years. So to me, Zano is the answer to the Clarity Act and the Genius Act, because it's not only private money, but you can counteract what BlackRock and others are doing through the Clarity Act by tokenizing assets and trading them privately, and holding those tokens in your own self-custody. So today I'm launching a website, ditchthedollar.com, and I encourage you to sign up. I have put together a pathway, 8 different steps, free tutorials. This tells you exactly how to get into crypto. And the first step is actually to sign a pledge. So, no more chanting or sine waves. Let's say commit to, yes, I'm going to ditch the dollar. This is a way to begin to build a movement around this idea. But then beyond that, the site has information that explains how to do this. My wife and I have done workshops in 27 different states. We've been traveling to countries. We've been traveling now to foreign countries, onboarding people, and we wanted to make the materials and the onboarding available for free for everyone, with clear guidance. And as Pat said, all of his years of being an activist in the Libertarian Party, he'd never gotten into crypto until sitting through one of our workshops in New Jersey. We're now making all of that information available online. It shows you how to buy crypto. If you already have crypto, it shows you how to make that crypto private using Zano and Freedom Dollar. If you have Bitcoin and you want to make it private, you can actually do that using Zano as well, which I encourage people to do. You can take your Bitcoin, you can take Ethereum, Solana, and some other popular blockchains and make them private. Privacy is the fundamental tool for battling the surveillance state. You can spend actually anywhere. So I live on crypto. One thing that I do use a debit card. I like to pay peer-to-peer wherever I can, but oftentimes when I'm traveling, I need to use a debit card. There's a debit card called a Zbeck MasterCard that you can load directly from your phone. You can load Zano and Freedom Dollar. Freedom Dollar is a privacy stablecoin. And if you're familiar with stablecoins like Tether and USDC, I spoke about the Genius Act. The Genius Act is basically making stablecoins surveillance coins. Freedom Dollar is an algorithmic stablecoin that isn't backed by US treasuries, that can't be tracked, can't be seized, but is pegged to the dollar. So you get the benefits of being able to price things in dollars without the censorship and without the guilty conscience of knowing you're murdering children all over the world. So this is how easy it is to end the Fed. If everybody here today went to ditchthedollar.com, signed the pledge, got 3 others to sign the pledge, they got 3 others to sign the pledge, after 15 iterations of that, you would reach a threshold where you'd have 14.3 million people having ditched the dollar, which is a critical threshold. This is something that's tangible. This is something that we can actually do. It's not talk, it's moving our money out of fiat and building parallel systems based on privacy. Other things that you can do, and this is all on the website, is understand the fight. I know we're in a place where people are saying, well, should we have third parties? No, it's only a 2-party system. It's only Republicans versus Democrats. It's technocracy versus free will. The parties are irrelevant. The biggest threat is technocracy. Digital IDs, programmable currencies, AI surveillance. That's bipartisan, and it crosses borders. I have spent the last 3.5 years writing books, articles, traveling around the country and increasingly internationally, educating people about this. You can go to technocracyatlas.com and learn about that, and learn about your specific state, because it is growing in all 50 states. It's growing in all 197 countries. I've put together an animated map that shows the growth of technocracy by state and by country since 1973. This is important for people to understand. We also, through the website, show you how you can receive these privacy coins as payment, how you can plug them into your website if you're selling goods and services, or if you're a nonprofit, there's a solution for that as well. A lot of people are concerned, well, I don't know how I'm going to get into crypto, how I'm going to buy crypto. You can earn crypto. This is the way forward. The original idea behind this, if you recall when Bitcoin was started, it was after the 2008 financial collapse. And at that point, you actually had bipartisan support. Tea Party, Occupy Wall Street, all knew they got screwed by the banks, all knew they got screwed by Wall Street. And people thought Bitcoin was the answer to that, a system that you could use to make payments on a daily basis outside of the Federal Reserve System. It is now morphed into an asset that people buy and hold, but they don't spend. We need to use alternative currencies to engage in voluntary commerce outside of the system. That is how we end the Fed. And lastly, I'd like to say we are announcing, and we've just launched what we call the Daylight Phone. It is a de-Googled phone that we have in partnership with Above All. You may see Hakeem Anwar, who will be hanging around as well. This is a solution where you not only get a de-Googled private phone, but it has all of the various apps that we've created. It has a Zeno wallet and other privacy tools and VPNs built in. This is a quick way to get onboarded to parallel systems. So I just want to say this. If we want to end the Fed, we can end the Fed. I mean, so far I just launched this, so we only have 36 pledges. But if we get enough people pledging and exiting the system, we can definitively, concretely end the Fed. So it's up to you to decide whether you're ready for action or whether we're going to have 17 more years of sine waves and bumper stickers. Thank you. Ditch the dollar. Ditch the dollar. Ditch the dollar. Ditch the dollar. Ditch the dollar.
Okay, singers, please meet over here on where the Texas delegation is, and then we'll find our way to the piano. All singers up here.